Gentlemen, we are here at IMG Academy Stadium in Bradenton, Florida. Ryan Murphy with Jonathan Torres here tonight for tonight's game as your IMG Academy Ascenders welcome the Bulls of Miami Northwestern to Bradenton. And Jonathan, back at home are the IMG Academy Ascenders after last Friday night's victory over Miami Central, and they take on another team from Dade County in the Miami Northwestern Bulls.
Yeah, you're exactly right. What we're going to see is maybe if there had been some communication over the past week between Miami Central and Miami Northwestern. At times like these, the 305 comes together, and so you have to wonder if there was maybe a little bit of information sharing going on there based on Miami Central's experience here last week. And really, I think that Miami Central did expose some weaknesses in this Ascender team.
And you know that even if there was no information sharing, that's something Miami Northwestern has seen on film.
Yep.
They know what and if they can exploit from this IMG Academy team, as two numbers stick out for these two teams. The first one, 0. Battle of undefeateds tonight between IMG and Northwestern.
Yep.
The other, 1. IMG, number 1 nationally in a number of polls. Miami Northwestern, number 1 in Florida's Class 6A, currently one of the favorites to claim another state championship down in Dade County. So two teams putting number 1 rankings and undefeated records on the line tonight.
Well, and again, we're fortunate that we do live here in Florida, where a program like IMG Academy has the opportunity to go up against some of the nationally ranked teams here within just a few hours' drive. And so, like you said, I'm sure they watched our broadcast from last week. I'm sure that they may have also been talking on the phone or maybe exchanging some emails with the Miami Central team. Nonetheless, we expect nothing less than a great football game tonight.
This is a Miami Northwestern team that we'll talk a little bit more after we come back from break, that they are very much concentrated with their power and with their skill and their commitments on the defensive side of the football. So that's really a spot that you're going to have to watch out for tonight, is the IMG offense against the Miami Northwestern defense. We'll take our first break of the night here from IMG Academy Field. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about the Bulls of Miami Northwestern and what to expect tonight as you're watching Ascender Football on IMG Academy TV.
You ever have that day? That day, that very moment, you got better. Your better got better. What if that day was every day?
And welcome back, everyone, to IMG Academy Field in Bradenton, Florida, as the IMG Academy Ascenders play host to the Bulls of Miami Northwestern, coming over from Dade County on this Saturday night. And talking about this Miami Northwestern football team, we mentioned it as we went to break. This is a team that a lot of their talent is concentrated on the defensive side of the football. Not to say they don't have some talented guys on offense as well, but a lot of the guys that are already committed or offered by high major institutions are guys on the defensive side of the football for Northwestern.
Well, it's also not a common thing, for teams from Miami-Dade County to be stronger on the defensive side. Typically, the Miami style of football, the football culture from Miami is very offensive-oriented. But this could be incredibly dangerous for this IMG Academy team that does make a lot of mistakes on the offensive side typically. And if you've got a strong defense that's going to put a lot of pressure on this team, we could see a situation where not only will we see a lot of mistakes, but we could see a very high-scoring game here if these teams really go toe-to-toe as we expect them to.
And two names that really stand out on that defensive side of the football for Miami Northwestern. You look, of course, at the very top of your rosters. Look at a guy like Samuel Brooks, the junior linebacker, offers from Miami, offers from Michigan, offers from Louisville. I can go on and on for a minute or so. Guy like him, a guy like Devon Wilson on the back end, the defensive back, already committed to play his college football at the University of Florida. And on the front line, Devontae McCray, who's headed to NC State.
Well, you and our other Ryan, are masterful at remembering where all these guys are going to end up, because it is incredible the number of schools that make offers to these players. And while typically we see that more on the IMG side, goes to show you the level of talent coming out of this Miami Northwestern team to have so many players with multiple offers on the table.
And offensively, you look at a guy like Tutu Atwell, recently committed to go to Louisville, where he can play a couple of different positions. Listed on the roster as an athlete. They'll line him up at quarterback. They'll split him out as well. As IMG Academy prepares to take the field, let's go ahead and talk about what IMG Academy is going to need to do tonight to win this football game. Let's take a look at the Gatorade keys to the game for tonight's contest for IMG. Number one, play assignment football and do your job offensively. Number two, we talked about how much the athletes of Miami Northwestern are available. Make them throw the football, and you have to be able to exploit this Miami Northwestern defense, make throws down the field against man coverage.
Well, again, the IMG Ascender defense is always solid. They're great, especially man-on-man. The truth of the matter is that you're going to see this explosive defense really be the one to carry this team. I think we're going to see a very defensive-oriented game overall, but really where I am concerned for this IMG team is on the offensive side. If Miami Northwestern's defense comes to play and puts on a lot of pressure on whether it be Arthur Sikowski or Zach Anixtad.
And as you take a look at the Miami Northwestern Bulls, they've preparing to take the field, and looks like one of their support staff actually has the smoke machine for the Miami-style entrance for the Bulls as they prepare to take the field at IMG Academy Field. The Ascenders are already on the field. IMG in their white lids, gray all the way down, gray jerseys, and gray pants.
Well, Miami teams always got to do it big, and anybody that's heard me on a broadcast before knows that's my hometown, born and raised in Miami-Dade County. And it's great to see that this much passion behind a high school football team that is well-deserving of, again, this level of commitment and passion. They have their band here. I don't even think it's their full band, but there's easily about 100 band members in the IMG stands for Miami Northwestern. It's great to see them, that they get that support from the school to even bring their band 3 hours north here to Bradenton.
This is going to be a bowl game style atmosphere at IMG tonight. A big contingent made the trip from Dade County, so a good contingent from the Bulls and obviously the faithful here for IMG. As the captains are on the field for IMG, those captains are number 3, Houston Griffith, number 18, Zach Anixtad, number 51, Curtis Dunlap, number 54, Teron Vincent. IMG has won the toss and elected to defer. They defer their choice to the second half, meaning we will see the offense of Miami Northwestern first. Their captain, Samuel Brooks, number 1, Devon Wilson, number 3, Tutu Atwell, number 5, and number 53, Tyquan Cooper will be the captains for the Miami Northwestern Bulls. We mentioned IMG in white, gray, and gray. The visitors from Miami in Miami Northwestern, they're in white, with yellow helmets and yellow pants for the visitors from Dade County as we approach national anthem time from IMG Academy Field. It should be a great night for football, a good crowd on hand, and what has been a dreary couple of days in Southwest Florida has, at least for now, turned into a very nice night for football on the west coast of Florida.
Well, and what you know about games like this is that while the IMG players are from all over the world, when a team like Miami Northwestern comes up, not only do they bring their own fans, because there's a lot of yellow in the stands, but you also get the Bradenton community to come out because they know that they're going to get an amazing football game tonight.
Especially on a Saturday night like this. Maybe you're a fan of, say, Bradenton Southeast or a fan of Venice. You played already. You come out on this Saturday night. We have arrived at national anthem time from IMG Academy Field. We'll pause for the national anthem as you're watching Ascender football on IMG Academy TV.
Gina McDowell, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Gina.
And we are about ready for football from IMG Academy Field. Quickly before the kickoff, we'd like to thank some of the sponsors that make IMG Academy football possible for their continuous support of IMG, that being Gatorade, Under Armour, and Stream Sports. Thank you so much to Gatorade, Under Armour, and Stream Sports for their generous support of IMG Academy and bringing you this broadcast of the IMG Academy Ascenders and the Miami Northwestern Bulls. We are ready for football from IMG Academy. It's the number one in Class 6A, Miami Northwestern Bulls, against, based on who you ask, the number one team in America, the IMG Academy Ascenders. as IMG will kick off to start the game. They won the toss and deferred their choice to the second half. As the Ascenders take the field, the kicking done today by number 39, Aiden Swanson, the junior out of Tampa, will tee it up at the 40-yard line. Two men back deep to receive for Northwestern, standing at the 5. Again, Northwestern will move from left to right. IMG from right to left. Northwestern in yellow, white, yellow. IMG in white, gray, gray. As for the second week in a row, it's IMG versus a team from Miami, and we're underway as a looping kick from Swanson will be taken around the 6 by the Bulls across the 20-yard line briefly before making the stop for IMG.
Number 11, Charles Thomas, with a great hit there. I mean, I saw a lot of momentum coming out of that kick return and did not see Thomas coming in, and sure enough, he just took him down right away. It was quick and dirty, and a great way to send a strong message to kick off this game.
Big hit from the junior committed to Michigan, as here come the Miami Northwestern Bulls for their first offensive possession of the football game. And they will spread it out, 5 wide receiver set. 3 wide receivers on that far side. Now some miscommunication briefly here from Northwestern, as there was a football on the field. Now the quarterback has asked for a new football. They want to make sure the Northwestern football is out there. So a bit of confusion here to start.
Yeah, certainly first time seeing that.
First, you're wondering if they were trying to run like the old, I got the wrong ball, run to the sideline and take off down the field.
It's a little early for that.
But Northwestern will start on offense as Tutu Atwell, the senior headed to Louisville, will start the offense. He'll put one of his running backs in motion to the left side in a 4 wide receiver set, and a flag will come out. And we'll take a look at the officials for the first time today. It's a false start penalty against Miami Northwestern. So 6 seconds into the game, 1st and 10 becomes 1st and 15. And if you're Northwestern, the last thing you want here early is to find yourself moving backwards.
Well, the matchup you kind of want to look at is number 58 over on Miami Northwestern, 6'5", 252, up against number 19, Xavier Thomas, 6'3", 260. I mean, that is a lot of size being thrown around there, and those two guys are head-to-head there on that scrimmage line.
Number 56, you mentioned for Miami Northwestern, Mark Fox, who has a number of high major offers for Miami Northwestern on that front line, as they got called for another false start penalty. So it's 1st and 20 Northwestern, who has trips to the left, 1 to the right. Fake handoff from Atwell. Atwell is going to go one-on-one down the sideline. Jump ball incomplete as he tried to get it out to Nigel Bethel on the near side of the field. Went one-on-one, and a jump ball winds up falling harmlessly to the turf as he tried to get it to Bethel. As
Brendan Radley Hiles,
looked like 44 Brendan Radley Hiles, the Nebraska commit, was on the coverage.
It's hard to call a player standout on this IMG team, but Hiles was just all over him. Even got some skin on that ball for a great block.
Twins to the left, twins to the right. Now a man goes in motion from the right to the left. And for the 3rd time this drive, a flag has come out. And for the 3rd time, it's the same thing, a false start penalty against Northwestern. So they have been moved back to their own 10, 2nd and 25.
Looks like there's some issue there with number 51, Jonathan Guyton, on the Miami Northwestern team. He got a bit of a smack upside the head there by the quarterback, and so they realize, I think, where they found the root of the problem there.
2nd down and 25 for Northwestern. High snap, handed off up the middle. Northwestern gets a forward push for about 5 yards out to the 15-yard line. Still will be 3rd down and very, very long, as carrying the football was Devontae Bo Kendrick.
Well, Miami Northwestern is seeming to have a very similar problem to the one that IMG had against Miami Carroll City. High snaps, a lack of consistency in those snaps. I mean, that could have ended very badly for Miami Northwestern as the quarterback bobbled the ball there, but was still able to get the execution on the play.
3rd down, 20 yards to go. Atwell in the gun under heavy pressure, and he is going to be sacked. IMG gets to Tutu Atwell. 3 or 4 different gray shirts were there to wrap him up, and Miami Northwestern be forced to punt from their own 9.
Well, I think, again, these first set of plays, these first set of possessions is all about setting the tone, setting the momentum for this game. IMG coming out strong, not making any mistakes, and really putting Northwestern in a bad position here to start off this game.
Having a punt from about 6 yards deep in their own end zone is Larry Robbins. Robbins, who boasts a offer to UCF, will do the punting, and now movement up front. IMG jumped, but were they drawn off sides by the Bulls? That's what Miami Northwestern, or IMG, is trying to say, and they win that argument as move it back another 4.5 yards. So call it 4th and 30 for Miami Northwestern at their own 5, maybe 4th and 31 from their own 4. As Northwestern will have to punt with their heels on the back line. Punt returner standing at the 40 for IMG. That punt will get away. It is a short punt that will bounce around the 30, take an IMG hop inside the 25, and the Ascenders' high-powered offense will start at the 24, pending 2 flags that are on the field.
Well, this is, again, an opportunity where they could have made up for all these penalties they've had in their first possession and just not where you want to place the ball in a punt, especially with the momentum and the ferocity that this IMG Ascender team has come out onto the field with.
Usually don't see the flags fly like this when there was no return on the punt, but we'll see what those 2 flags are. As it will go against IMG. The ball marched all the way back to the Northwestern 43-yard line. It was a block in the back against the Ascenders. So IMG's offense will get it still in Northwestern territory in great field position at the 43-yard line. And for IMG, they will turn to the quarterback in Zach Annexstad. Flank to his left by the tailback of Vontae Williams.
You got to imagine that they really worked with Zach here over the past week because seemingly he couldn't find his rhythm against Miami Central, really struggled against that defense. This being a very defensive team, you've got to hope that Zach has got his bearings and has got a really good handle on this team. If not, I could see them switching him out even faster than they did last week.
4 wide receiver set with a back flank to the right. Handoff up the middle. Northwestern flashes their defense for the first time early in this contest as IMG unable to go nowhere. Trey Sanders, the Alabama commit, unable to get positive yardage. And as we mentioned in the pregame, this is where Northwestern makes their money, if you will. They're a defensive football team. There's not allowed a whole lot of points thus far this year.
Well, and right now, this defensive team is carrying a lot of responsibility after that first possession. They need to make sure that they hold off this IMG team to level the playing field.
Annexstad back to pass, quick strike, complete across the 30. IMG gets it down to the 25-yard line into the hands of Brian Hightower, the senior from Los Angeles. First down IMG across the 30, and a very nice pickup of about 19 yards as Annexstad finds Hightower.
Again, one of the things they're working on is limiting these explosive plays, getting back to the basics. Great throw to the outside and great cross to the middle by Hightower.
Annexstad back to pass, steps up in the pocket, looks, ball batted around, incomplete. Annexstad tried to go right back to Hightower. That one just a touch behind him, and 2 Northwestern Bulls were converging quickly.
That could have been very, very dangerous for IMG. That ball had a little bit of airtime there, and like you said, there was a couple defenders surrounding that one, and could have ended very badly for IMG.
Second down and 10, Ascenders at the 25-yard line of the Bulls. Trips to the left, twins to the right. 5 wide receiver set for Annexstad. Alone in the backfield is Zach Annexstad. He'll drop back to pass under some pressure. Now Annexstad will look to run. Annexstad tripped up from behind as the ankle tackle pulled in from number 15, Derek Nicholson. The defensive end able to just pick the ankle of Annexstad after a gain of 2.
Really what you're seeing here is IMG adjusting to the speed at which this Miami Northwestern defense is playing. They are fast, they are fierce, and they're going to come at Annexstad with everything they've got. They've already put a lot of pressure on him, but this offensive team is moving quick, just not quick enough there for Annexstad.
Passing situation for Annexstad, 3rd down and 8. He will from the toss play towards the left side, and Northwestern able to bottle up IMG's Brunner, but he gets forward. Trey Sanders looked like he was stopped after a gain of 1, but he just kept moving his feet all the way down to the 18-yard line or so. Call it the 17. That's a great 6-yard run to bring up 4th and 2.
Incredible power there by Sanders. I mean, he had people all over him, and he was still able to make some great gains on that run.
No hesitation from the Ascenders. They'll go for it on 4th and 2. Annexstad will run the triple option. Gets it out to his tailback across the 15-yard line for an IMG first down. IMG picks it up, and who else will they go to but Trey Sanders? The junior from Port St. Joe picks up the first down for the Ascenders. Move the chains, first down IMG.
This is a first down for IMG.
See if they spot it inside or outside of the 10. Is about the 12-yard line, so 1st and 10 from the 12 for IMG. You set up 2 wide receivers to the right. They'll bunch everybody else up. Handoff goes to Sanders, makes the first man miss. Sanders breaks tackles. Sanders to the end zone, touchdown. Touchdown IMG as Trey Sanders, back-to-back bruising runs, get the Ascenders on the board in quarter number 1.
You couldn't ask for a better run. Right up the middle both times. First time, he showed them what he's made of. Got a nice little run out of it, 5-6 yards, and there, takes it into the end zone. He's definitely on Northwestern's radar for the rest of the game.
And you check out that run from Sanders. 1 guy, 2 guy, can't get a handle. 3 guys can't make the tackle against Trey Sanders. And IMG on the board as the extra point is up. That one easily through the uprights. And with 7:42 to go in quarter number 1, it's IMG that has struck first. They lead Miami Northwestern 7-0 at IMG Academy Field in Bradenton. And if you're the IMG offense, very pleased with that first drive against a stout defense like Northwestern. Drive the 40 yards you had to and get on top 7-0 and put the pressure on the offense of Northwestern.
Definitely not an easy drive there for the Ascenders whatsoever. This is definitely a team that is going to fight for every single possession, and they earned it. They earned that touchdown, and so now it's just a matter of staying on the gas and not letting up, because this Northwestern team can flip this game real quick.
After knocking home the extra point, Aiden Swanson will tee it up at the 40-yard line. Swanson, as a junior, already holds a preferred walk-on offer from Coach Dabo Sweeney up at Clemson. One of the best prep kickers in the country. Got a glimpse of it on that extra point. That would have been good from a lot further than the 20 yards of the extra point. As Swanson will tee it up from the 40. Northwestern's return men standing at the 4. Swanson's kick, a boomer. That will carry it back into the end zone. No return from Davis, who was trailing that one back. And once he got to the goal line, it was still going. He said, we'll take the ball at the 20, which is where Miami Northwestern will set up for their second offensive drive of the game. Northwestern moved backwards quite a bit on their first drive of the game. I think they wound up with negative 20 yards of offense, mostly because of 20 yards in penalties that they amassed on that first drive.
Well, and look, IMG is equally guilty. They've been, it's something they've been working on even since last season, is to minimize the number of penalties in a game. Right now we're seeing what that can do to a team going against IMG. It's just up to the Ascenders to make sure that they stay clean.
Man in motion, back to pass, Atwell. Atwell over the middle, complete for Northwestern across the 25, out near the 28-yard line.
Beckford, number 6.
Got it into the arms of number 6, Quayon Beckford, to pick up about 9 yards. Second down and a yard to go.
Play before he is brought down by Avante Williams, number 29.
Atwell running the offense for Northwestern. Second down and 1 at the 29-yard line. Atwell is going to keep it himself. He'll get the first down, and he's got space across the 45 to the 50. And there is the explosiveness that Louisville likes so much out of Tutu Atwell.
Well, you know, number 8, Andre Sisco there with the tackle, and honestly, I didn't think he was going to get to him. Got just enough to trip him up to get him down, because that could have been a huge run for Miami Northwestern, but still put them in great field position.
Nose of the football at midfield for Northwestern. Atwell in the gun with a back to his left. Atwell will drop back to pass. He'll look for the home run ball, going one-on-one, and overshot his intended target in Nigel Bethel. The second time today that he's tried to go to Bethel.
Yeah, it was about 3-4 yards ahead of Bethel there. A beautiful throw, just a little too far for him. But again, we're seeing a Miami Northwestern team here that has definitely studied this IMG team and even executing some of the plays that are very similar to what we see from IMG on a weekly basis.
Trips to the left, one wide receiver to the right to the near side of the field. Atwell in the shotgun. He'll move Corey Hammond, his running back, to his left. He'll hand it off to Hammond, who pushes forward across the 50 and then is pushed back after a gain of about a yard. It'll be a 3rd down and 9 coming up, and on your screen leading the charge there, clapping his hands, the Georgia commit, Nolan Smith.
The thing that I like about this game already so far in comparison to Miami Central game really seemed to, get up and running very slowly, okay? Here we're seeing these two teams right out of the gate come with everything they got.
Atwell will hand it off again to his tailback in number 4, Hammond. He gets across the 45 to the 43. And for Miami Northwestern, it's decision time. 4th down and 3 from the 43-yard line of IMG. We'll call it officially 4th and 2 from the 42. And Northwestern going to bring the punt team onto the field. But if you're the IMG Academy special teams coaches, this is a spot on the field that you are screaming, watch the fake, watch the fake, watch the fake.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, really, this early in the game, you've got nothing to lose, but you definitely don't want to leave IMG to get to get the more points on the board. And so really here, I wouldn't be surprised if they go for it to try to level the scoreboard.
And Miami Northwestern, they're going to talk things over. Timeout Northwestern with 5:43 to go. It's 7-0 IMG. We'll take a quick break. You're watching IMG Academy football on IMG Academy TV.
For coming out and supporting your ascenders. We truly appreciate your hard work and dedication here at the Academy. We hope you are able to enjoy.
And we remind you to join the conversation.
Once again, thank you for all your efforts and everything you do to better our campus and our students. In addition, we'd like to extend a huge thank you to Fratello's Chicago Pizzeria, Fuzzy's Taco Shop.
And once again, we like to thank our sponsors that make IMG Academy possible for their proud support and continuous support of IMG Academy, that being Gatorade, Under Armour, and Stream Sports. And join the conversation. Get instant updates on IMG Academy by socializing with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at IMG Academy. Use the hashtag Tomorrow is Ours, and everything is earned. So Northwestern will line up in a punt formation, but it's an unorthodox one. It's a 4-wide receiver punt formation with one back. High snap. The snap will be punted, and it's a good one. The Northwestern punter went down, but no flag comes out. A great punt is downed at the 1. The faithful from Dade County wanted a roughing the punter penalty, or at least running into the punter. Either one would have gotten the job done.
Well, it goes to show you really the amount of Northwestern fans that came up for this game, because we're across the field and you could hear the outrage from the fans. But the truth of the matter is that calling between a flag being thrown on that play and it being a clean play is a matter of seconds, and I think IMG played it just right.
So 1st down and 10 IMG from the 6-yard line. Annexstad remains the quarterback for the Ascenders, who are backed up deep. They had great field position. Now they'll have to go the length of the field. Annexstad will hand the football off on the first play of the drive, and a gain of about 5 yards for IMG as Noah Kane carries the football. The junior from Flower Mound, Texas, gets 5 to bring up 2nd and 5 from the 11.
Well, so far we're also seeing a much more confident Annexstad.
Handoff goes again to Kane. Kane spins away from first contact, gets 2, maybe 3 on the run to bring up a 3rd down and short, 3rd down of 2 or 3 yards for the Ascenders.
Yeah, not sure what happened during that Miami Central game. Didn't seem like he was on the same wavelength with his offensive line. Here we see Annexstad solid and really, doing a great job of executing these plays and moving the ball down the field.
Led the first touchdown drive. Will now have to try to get 3rd down and 3 from the 16-yard line for the Ascenders. Annexstad back to pass, quick strike, and that is caught at the 21-yard line. Excellent catch made by Brian Hightower. Hightower's been the leading target for Annexstad thus far.
Well, they talked about limiting the explosive plays, but I'll tell you, when this offense gets into explosive play mode, the guy you want to watch is Brian Hightower.
And we have arrived at the water break from IMG Academy Field, and we'll take this opportunity to remind you that for the latest in IMG Academy gear, you visit our online store at shopimg.com. That's shopimg.com. They are your official IMG Academy online retailer. Seven 0 in favor of IMG Academy. 4:28 to go in quarter number 1 from a nearing capacity crowd at IMG Academy Field. If you get a glance at the bleachers across the way, those 3 middle sections of the bleachers completely full.
Yeah, well, and I think, again, not only are the people from Miami, but even the people here in the Bradenton area, they were dying to see an IMG 305 matchup, and a lot of them left when we had that lightning delay against Miami Central.
Northwestern able to corral the runner for IMG. That time got it into the hands of number 2, TJ Pledger, the Oklahoma commit from California. He loses 4 yards on that one. Northwestern was all over it. It's 2nd down and 14, back from the 17 for IMG. 7-0 Ascenders on the touchdown run earlier in the quarter from Trey Sanders. In the shotgun, one-on-one down the sideline. That is incomplete, but a flag comes out at the end of the play. Tried to go down the sideline, Jermaine Burton. It was Devon Wilson on the coverage. And the UF commit may have drawn a pass interference penalty. We'll see what the officials will rule. Pass interference on Northwestern.
Well, some people are even saying that the Northwestern player in that situation there might have even caught the ball, but there was a ref pretty close to that play and didn't call it in that direction. And so we're seeing the Ascenders advance here, but really, again, props to Miami Northwestern because this defensive line has been able to hold IMG in the back of the field for some time now.
Northwestern had IMG backed up. Now they have to deal 1st down and 10 at the 33-yard line. Handoff for IMG, gets across the 35 to the 36-yard line, a run of about 3 for IMG has got the ball back into the hands of Noah Kane.
Looks like the flag is going to be called on IMG. Not sure what it is yet, but they may undo all the good they just got off that run.
So backwards and forwards go the Ascenders. After getting 15 on the PI, they'll go backwards 10 yards on the penalty. As Annexstad Looking over to the sideline and see what he wants to run here. 3:39 to go in the first quarter. IMG with a 7-0 lead in a game that, as we expected, the defenses have been very good thus far. And IMG's lone touchdown came on a very short field. Annexstad, swing pass incomplete. Annexstad with that quick strike tried to throw it out to Pledger, but Pledger could not haul it in, and IMG will have to deal with 2nd down and 20 from their own 23.
Rushed a little bit on the throw there. He certainly had TJ Pledger in sights. Pledger was open, just a little outside on the throw, and he's going to pay for it.
3:25 to go, 2nd down and 20 for the Ascenders at their own 23-yard line. Twins to the left, twins to the right. Annexstad drops back. Annexstad will go to the deep man. That pass is incomplete. Tried to throw it down the sideline to his big target in Brian Hightower, the Miami commit, but overshot him and was a little too close to the sideline as well.
Well, Hightower tried to make the best of it there, reached out for it, even got some skin on it, wasn't able to hold on to that ball. Again, it would have been kind of an Odell Beckham type of situation there if he would have caught that, because it was a pretty big reach, but got just out of hand there. Could have been a big play.
Miami Northwestern.
And now a penalty against Northwestern yet again. So IMG will move forward as they spot it at the 33. So back to 2nd and 10.
Well, both of these teams are starting to suffer from the penalties, and while IMG has not committed as many, certainly they need to keep it that way because it could be costly for them down the road.
Annexstad with a slant pass complete out near the 40-yard line, as in some heavy traffic was able to find Jermaine Burton on the catch. Out near the 40-yard line.
Well, and credit to Burton. I mean, he was double covered there. He had 2 men on him, still was able to complete that pass and tried to cut inside, but really made a really good situation out of, considering, again, the double coverage he had on him.
In the shotgun, Annexstad drops back to pass, under pressure, flushed out towards his right. Annexstad will float it down the field, incomplete. A diving attempt made by Miami Northwestern's number 20, Sherrod Oliver. Holds a couple of Division I offers of his own, as IMG will face 4th down and 2, and the punt team will come onto the field.
You have to wonder also if the band also is having some effect on the offense, because, again, this is an element that they're not used to here at IMG. Again, being the type of school that it is, there isn't a marching band for this football program. Most schools, because they are not from Florida, do not bring their marching band. But just among students, so we're talking marching band, the cheerleaders just showed up, and the football team, there's easily over a couple hundred students from Miami Northwestern.
Great punt goes inside the 20. Fair catch called for at the 14-yard line. An excellent punt for the Ascenders. Aiden Swanson has kicked the ball very well today. And IMG will pin Northwestern back inside their own 20. Call it officially 1st down and 10, Bulls at their own 14.
What's also really interesting to me, and again, not surprising looking at the commitments that some of these Northwestern Bulls have, is really that they match up really well in terms of size. The players on the field, are really kind of toe-to-toe with this IMG team. Oftentimes you see the size of these players a little lopsided, but not so with this Miami Northwestern team. A really good matchup here tonight.
Northwestern goes 2 wide receivers to the far side, 2 wide receivers to the near side. A back flanks 2-2 Atwell to his right. Atwell will hand the football off, and IMG able to gobble him up after a gain of around 2. Aaron Lewis runs the football for the Bulls, picks up around 2. 2nd down and 8 from the 16-yard line for Northwestern. IMG has a 7-0 lead as we're under 2 minutes to go in quarter number 1.
I'll tell you, that IMG pocket right up the middle is a wall. I mean, that is almost a black hole, really, for just about anybody to try to run up that middle. As we saw there, they stopped him pretty quick.
Atwell in the shotgun, puts a man in motion from right to left. Atwell will take the snap. He'll hand the ball off again, and Northwestern out across the 20 to the 21-yard line, as carrying it again was Aaron Lewis, the running back. Call it 3rd down and 3 from the 21-yard line. They'll give him the 22, 3rd and 2. Northwestern trying to pick up their first down. Hand off yet again at the middle to Lewis. Lewis pushing forward, gets out to the 25, and that'll be enough for a Northwestern first down with 1:06 to go in the quarter. Needed 2, he got about 3 for a Northwestern first down. Bulls move it out to their own 25-yard line. Trips to the left, one wide receiver to the near side of the field. Northwestern has taken a couple deep shots down the field. Would have been covered up well by IMG. Atwell in the gun. Atwell will dance to the right side, throw to his check down route out near the 30-yard line as he found Lewis. And you can see Atwell was trying to look down the field there, but he saw nothing and figured he'd get a couple of yards on the check down route to Lewis.
Well, a little bit of pressure there, on Atwell, and the truth of the matter is that he's one of those guys you don't want to pressure him too much because he'll make a run for it, and we've already seen he's got the speed and the agility to get through this IMG defense.
Atwell, 2 wide receivers to each side of the formation and a back to his right. Now the back moves behind him. Pistol-style formation. Atwell will keep it himself on a read play. Atwell trying to get to the outside, and he is thrown out of bounds. Ball popped out at the end of the play, but after Atwell had already exited the playing surface, it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Yeah, really wasn't able to find an opening there, but as I said, Atwell made a run for it, and he is dangerous on the run. I mean, he is quick, but fortunately, IMG defense there following him the whole way and really wasn't able to gain too much ground to kind of keep him here from getting the first down.
3rd down and 2 for Northwestern at their own 33-yard line. In the gun, Atwell. Atwell will hand the ball off. Plenty of room to the outside across the 35, but a great open field tackle made by the Ascenders. As carrying the football, 34, Yvonne Bo Kendrick, but a great open field tackle made by IMG.
Yeah, Brendan Radley-Hiles again, just incredibly quick, and obviously not of the stature of some of the other guys on the defensive line, but right there, the guy has the agility and the speed to really go after these receivers.
Radley-Hiles, 5'10", 170, but headed to Nebraska. First down and 10, Northwestern, 20 seconds left in the quarter. Toss over the middle, complete for the Bulls at the 45-yard line. As a look over the middle, found number 19, Justin Hill Jr., the senior, out to the 45-yard line. Needed 10, got 9, 2nd down and 1, as Northwestern will not run one final play as we played our first 12 minutes from IMG Academy. Your score after 12, it's IMG Academy 7, Miami Northwestern nothing. That's the end of the first quarter, 7-0 IMG. We'll be right back with the second quarter right after this.
That's the end of the first quarter with your score, IMG 7 and the Miami Northwestern.
So you love your game? So does he. You say ain't nobody gonna work harder? He said the same thing. You get an hour of training in before the sun even comes up, plenty of early risers out there. You got the gear, they got the gear. You got a secret weapon, this dude doesn't need one. See, this isn't just a game of inches, this is a game of ounces. And the next ounce you give might just be the one the other guy doesn't. Gatorade, rehydrate, replenish, and refuel.
IMG 7, Northwestern nothing. After the first 12 minutes of action, 2nd down and 1 coming up for the Bulls after a 9-yard gain on first down. 2 wide receivers to the near side of the field, 2 backs in the backfield. Handoff comes to the near side of the field. Bulls trying to stretch it to the outside, but that'll go nowhere.
Well, great job by the defense by staying on number 23 there, Aaron Lewis, who, again, we've already seen he can do some damage against this IMG defense, and he had 3 guys on him the whole way as he went out wide, never was able to find the pocket, and they were able to hold them right where they were.
Houston Griffith, the highly sought-after DB from Chicago, on the stop, loses about 5 yards, so Northwestern deals with 3rd and 6 from their own 40-yard line. Snap to Atwell. He'll hand the football off and stood up at the line is the tailback. He gets a yard that basically tackled forward for that yard. And on 4th down and 5, Northwestern will be forced to punt it away, as in the middle of the defense there for IMG was one of the best players in the country in Xavier Thomas.
Well, and on that note, we saw a number of scouts from, I'd say at least half a dozen universities here last game against Miami Central. There's no doubt that they are either here or watching this game tonight.
Or they'll watch it back if they're playing tonight
here
on this Saturday night, as on 4th down and 5, movement up front. And it's false start against Northwestern. You would think they're on 4th down and 5. Northwestern would be trying to maybe pull a hard count there, because you get the 5, you get the 1st down.
Yep.
But it goes against them, and they will punt it away on 4th and 10.
I was going to say before the end of the quarter, if this Miami Northwestern team is able to stay penalty-free, again, they can swing the results of this game. They need to stay penalty-free to get an edge on this IMG team.
Northwestern will boot it away, and he had to quick kick that one as IMG was coming for the block. It will bounce, nearly hit an IMG player, and be down at the 38-yard line. Couple things on that play. The punter for Northwestern didn't take his full punter progression. He saw that rush was coming, and he quick kicked it.
Yep.
And then that ball took a weird bounce where it almost clipped the heels of one of the backs for IMG. Wound up being down by Northwestern, but both teams almost saw disaster on that punt.
No, that's exactly right. But props to the punter, because he had great height on it. It just didn't really move down the field that much. Again, like you said, bounced around the 35-yard line, ended up on the 38. Certainly not the field position you want to give IMG.
1st down and 10 for IMG at their own 37-yard line. Annexstad will hand the football off towards the left side, across the 40, towards the 50, and out to the 42-yard line. As number 2, TJ Pledger, carrying the football out across the 45, and that's the explosiveness that Oklahoma will receive at the end of this year.
Well, Pledger is someone we talked a lot about in last season's games. We haven't heard too much from him. Again, we're only a few games deep here. But Pledger, amazing speed. And right there, not sure what happened, but just before the tackle, you saw something just quite wasn't right. And certainly may have been part of the reason he went down.
Annexstad threads the needle on that one to pick up a couple of yards as Riker Brazerall makes the catch, and Miami Northwestern is going to ask for time. 9:43 to go in quarter number 2. IMG Academy on top, 7-0. We'll take a quick break as you're watching Ascender Football on IMG Academy TV.
So, you want to be the best? So does everybody else. See, it takes more than wanting it. You gotta show up. And when you show up and camp here, you'll be ready to compete anywhere.
Seven nothing in favor of the Ascenders. 9:43 to go in the first half. Ryan Murphy, Jonathan Torres. Whether you're joining us on Facebook or YouTube, glad you could join us on your Saturday night. As the Northwestern band making some noise. Handoff goes to IMG across the 35. Plenty of space across the 30. and down the sideline, 15, and pushed out of bounds near the 10. TJ Pledger has been the feature back on this drive, and he took that one for a big gain.
4 or 5 Northwestern Bulls there trying to make sure that he does not get any closer to that end zone. But major props to TJ Pledger. Great run there. Certainly weren't expecting it right out of the gate after a water break.
7-0 in favor of IMG, as a whistle has been blown before the play. And it looks like we have a chain issue. I think Pledger might have collided with the chain, because the officials are down on the near side of the field trying to fix the down and distance marker, or the initial line of scrimmage marker are trying to be fixed here by the officials, so they'll take this opportunity to take the first water break of the second quarter. And IMG leading this game 7-0 on the strength of that touchdown run on the first drive of the game. And as we mentioned early on, defense was going to be the story, and these two defenses have gone back and forth a little bit. The Ascenders really getting their first prolonged drive of the game here early in the second quarter.
Well, typically football fans don't like low-scoring games. Certainly if you're an IMG fan, you definitely don't like low-scoring games, but that's going to be exactly what we're going to get here. I mean, we're still early in the second quarter, but this is a defensive game. Miami Northwestern, especially their defensive line, putting in the work to hold this IMG team, but can they hold them any further from the end zone than they are now? It's probably unlikely.
First down and 10, Ascenders from the 14-yard line. As the Miami Northwestern band making their presence felt. Annexted the quarterback, and Pledger the tailback. Annexted takes the snap, handoff to Pledger. Pledger made a couple of men miss there to even get a yard on that run, as Northwestern got good penetration into the backfield. Pledger danced for a yard, if that.
Well, and again, this Northwestern defense is going to make IMG earn every single point. And really, again, kind of the wild card in this situation is the band. It's not an element that this IMG offense is used to dealing with. Not sure if they were practiced with that scenario, but certainly it'll be interesting to see if it affects the game long term.
Back to pass, Annexted. Annexted floats one to the end zone, overshot his target, incomplete. Tried to get it in the corner of the end zone.
Oh, well, like our friend Ryan Sudol likes to say, a little extracurricular action happening there on the coverage. Didn't get a flag from the referee, but you can see that this Northwestern defense is trying everything they can to stop IMG from scoring on this drive.
Third down and 9 from the 13-yard line. Annexted the quarterback. Trey Sanders to his left. It'll be a toss play to Sanders. Sanders is stood up by the Northwestern defensive front, and he will fight his way towards the line of scrimmage, and on will come the kicker in Aiden Swanson. Try to get it into the hands of the ever-dangerous Trey Sanders, and he was denied. Got 2 yards, a tough 2 yards, as it'll be about a 28-yard attempt for Aiden Swanson. Northwestern with almost everybody standing up trying to block it. Swanson's kick floats to the uprights. It is no good. Swanson pushes it wide to the left, and Northwestern gets the defensive stand, and they'll take over with 8:11 to go in the half.
Well, the band taking a lot of the credit in that situation right there. And again, could that be a major factor, for not only the offense but the special teams here? Could be. It's rare to see the kicker for IMG miss a field goal like that. But again, that was a scoring situation there that IMG should have been in the end zone, and even still with the field goal, wasn't able to get more points on the board.
So Northwestern gets it on their own 20. First and 10 Bulls on their own 20-yard line, 80 yards from the end zone, as they'll go 2 wide receivers to the near side, 2 to the far side. And a back split out now to the right. That's Corey Hammett to the right of Atwell. Atwell's going to keep it himself on first down. Atwell going off right tackle, getting to the sideline as a flag comes down in the backfield. As Tutu Atwell on a designed quarterback run. Got a couple yards, but a flag came out during the run, and we'll see what the referees have to say.
This is a holding penalty against Miami Northwestern.
And it will be holding against Northwestern.
This brings the ball back to the 10-yard line. It is first and 20.
First and 20 Northwestern at their own 10. Atwell, the quarterback, in the gun. Atwell drops back to pass. He'll look deep over the middle. Incomplete. Tried to throw it right down the seam to number 19, Justin Hill. Incomplete to bring up second down and 20. So for the Bulls, deep in their own territory and behind the sticks, second down, 20 yards to go. They'll go trips to the near side, one to the far side, and a back in the backfield. Split to the left of Tutu Atwell. Atwell will put that man in motion. Atwell drops back, looking over the middle again. Has a man caught at the 30 and taken down near the 35-yard line. Went right back to Justin Hill Jr., the senior, and a big gain on second and 20 for a first down Northwestern.
No, definitely great pass by Miami Northwestern there. About 30 yards on that pass. Great reception, and really, again, if they can stay penalty-free going down the field on this drive, they could put up some points on the board.
Atwell will hand the football off to the outside. Got it to the hands of Corey Hammett. Hammett taken down near the 40-yard line. Runs for 4 or 5 on first down to bring up second down and medium.
Mike Jones, number 24.
As Mike Jones on the stop, the Clemson commit for IMG. They gave him the 40, so second down and 5 from the 40 for Northwestern. Bulls go 2 wide receivers to the near side, 2 to the far side. Atwell adjusting the formation with 12 on the play clock. Atwell in the shotgun, takes the snap. Atwell will look to keep it, sheds the first tackler, gets across the 40 near the 42-yard line, and it'll be third down and short for Northwestern with 6:46 to go in the half.
Well, one thing that, we have them pretty much right up in front of us here is the technique you see Atwell running with. Great technique there, high step. Really what you need, especially when running up the middle, to make sure that you evade as many tackles as possible. Right there, not successful, but we have seen that agility, that technique really work for him this game so far.
Same formation for Northwestern. 2 wide receivers to each side. Now a man goes in motion from right to left. Atwell will drop back to pass. Under pressure, Atwell looking down the field. Now he'll look to run it. Atwell pushed out of bounds before the first down marker as he was chased out by Xavier Thomas. So it'll be fourth down and 4, we'll call it. Back from the 41, and Northwestern is forced to punt.
Yeah, not thinking that they're going to pull anything on this play either. Really not stellar field position. I mean, it would be a pretty major play they'd have to pull off to make it worth their while here, and I don't think they're going to take that chance right now.
So booting it away is Northwestern's number 9, Larry Robbins. Had to quick kick his last punt and did an excellent job getting it away. Robbins standing back at his own 27-yard line. That snap high that he had to go back and get, and then it's going to be partially blocked as it will bounce towards the 40-yard line. It'll be down at the 39 of IMG, and I think someone in gray got a hand on that one.
Yeah, and he was also rushed. A lot of pressure on the kicker there, and we're almost kind of right back to where we started in the at the beginning of the second quarter. with IMG on the 40-yard line there. A great defense on both sides, right? So IMG and Northwestern, this is, again, the defensive game we were talking about before the game even started. We're getting that. Now it's a matter of what is going to work offensively to get more points on the board. I wouldn't be surprised to see Miami Northwestern step up their passing game.
First down and 10, IMG at the 40-yard line. Back to pass goes IMG down the sideline, has a man caught inside the 30-yard line. Catch made by number 7, Brian Hightower, who's had a huge game thus far for IMG.
Never a dull moment when Hightower's on the field, but also great tackle by 21, Rashad Wildgoose there, who really got a good grip on him because Hightower pretty much had an open field in front of him, and Rashad being the last man standing on that play.
Penalty flag on the field.
This is a face mask against Miami
And it's a
Northwestern.
face mask against the Bulls. And Hightower went one-on-one there with Rashad Wildgoose. And heck of a battle there, the Miami commit against the Georgia Bulldog commit.
Well, when you saw Hightower just ready, just itching to kick it into overdrive to really get into that end zone, I think he saw himself already in the end zone. But Wildgoose, just had great visibility to make sure that not only did he not commit a penalty there, although they committed a penalty somewhere else on the field, but he was able to bring him down and not give them any more ground.
Fake handoff, back to pass, now looking to the end zone. Tipped again, touchdown IMG. Touchdown Ascenders, Brian Hightower. Caught it on the tip drill, then bobbled it himself, and then brought it in, and the Ascenders go up 13-0.
That's definitely going to be one we're going to want to take another look at because whenever that ball just goes nuts there, and really I think there were 2-3 different people that touched that ball right there, and for Hightower to come off with the touchdown on it was truly something to see.
On to kick the extra point is Aiden Swanson. 1 for 1 on his extra points today. The kick is up. It is good. And with 5:46 to go in quarter number 2, IMG has taken a 14-0 lead over Miami Northwestern, and a great effort there from Brian Hightower to make the catch in the back corner of the end zone. Ball was tipped in the air. Hightower then had a chance to catch it the first time. Couldn't bring it in, bobbled it, and then made the catch for a touchdown.
Yeah, a little bit of an assist there by Miami Northwestern to make that touchdown a reality. But the truth is, as I've said, Hightower makes the big plays. This is a guy that is cool and calm under pressure and always excels under a high-pressure situation and pulls off the explosive plays that IMG is known for.
14-0 Ascenders, 5:46 to go in half number 1. As it'll be kicked away by Aiden Swanson. Got a big leg, as you mentioned earlier, a Clemson offer to be a preferred walk-on. And I would highly doubt that that's going to be the only team to request the services of Aiden Swanson as a kicker. Big leg as he'll boot it away from the 40-yard line for the Ascenders.
Well, and again, a quick hello to everybody watching Facebook, YouTube, over 1,000, nearly 2,000 people watching online. Just a great game to see on a Saturday night.
Long kick into the end zone for a touchback as Swanson, for the second time today, puts it into the end zone. And Northwestern will start 1st and 10 at their own 20. Northwestern's had spurts where their offense has moved the ball very well, that just haven't been able to put together that prolonged drive that can get points on the scoreboard.
Well, again, they need to focus on what they're doing in their drive. They need to stay clean of penalties. What happens is they get great momentum in the offensive situation. They move the ball down the field, and then they lose that confidence as soon as there's a penalty on the play, and they seem to lose all momentum. It just sucks the energy right out of that offensive drive, and it certainly doesn't help when you've got such a high-pressure defense like IMG.
Northwestern starts 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. 5:46 to go first half. Atwell alone in the shotgun. Atwell going to go down the field and overshoots his intended target. Derek Davis tried to go with the fade, as on the coverage for IMG was Juan Wallace, the Syracuse commit.
The intended receiver It's second down.
Atwell, a very athletic quarterback, on a couple of occasions has tried to throw that deep ball and just overthrown it a couple of times, as a timeout has been called on the field.
This is an official timeout on the field.
And we will have an official timeout with IMG on top, 14-0.
Good sized crowd.
14-0 IMG over Miami Northwestern. As first down and 10, now second down and 10 from the 20. Atwell has time, now flushed out to his right. Atwell dumps it off complete and will be close to a first down for Miami Northwestern as he tossed it out to Derek Nicholson for a first down, and a couple more whistles come in right at the end of the play. As it stands, a gain of 11 and a first down for Northwestern.
Well, one of the things that we haven't really mentioned today is Daniel Fa'alele, who currently is on the sideline, has gotten some minutes in this game today, but he is somebody that is always talked about when you talk about IMG. I mean, he comes in at 6'8", 400 pounds. Last game seemed to be having some issues with his ankle. There was a play where he then had to kind of limp off the field and was gone for the rest of the game. Today, he's suited up, he's dressed up, he's getting some minutes in, but looks like they're using him in limited spurts.
Atwell going down the field. That pass is incomplete. Very nearly intercepted by number 29 of Bonte Williams, the DB heading to Miami. That one well overshot Beckford and nearly intercepted.
Well, if you're going to go for the explosive plays, you have to execute with precision against the IMG Ascenders because they will take advantage. And right there, had double coverage. That receiver had double coverage, 2 Ascenders on him, and that could have ended very badly for the Bulls.
So second down and 10 from the 31-yard line. They'll go 5 wide again. Atwell looks like he may be changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Atwell will fake, now go down the middle, wide open down the seam, across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Got it into the hands of number 85, Derek Davis. As they move Beckford to quarterback on that one. Now back to 2-2 Atwell. Atwell the quarterback. First down and 10 from the 45. Atwell will throw the screen this time to Beckford across the 50. He's still on his feet, and the IMG defenders had to go with a wrestling-style ankle pick there to take him to the ground.
Well, a lot of credit, that until the refs blow that whistle, you don't stop, the play, and he was trying to get out of that hold. I mean, he was standing up, but you could tell they had him by the feet, and he was doing everything he could to shake that defender.
Second down, call it about 3 yards to go from the 48. Atwell in the shotgun has trips to the near side, 2 to the far side. Atwell in the pocket, has to evade one IMG Academy defender. Evades the same guy again. Now he'll run. Atwell will get the first down and out of bounds, as Atwell definitely won the battle there with the charging defensive end for IMG. Shook him the first time, then shook him again on the back end and picked up the first down.
Well, what's, I think, really misleading here, and what has really surprised this IMG defense is that Atwell comes in at 5'10", 150, all right? Most of his offensive line just towers over him, and he's really given this IMG defense a run for their money.
Back to pass goes Atwell. Atwell steps up in the pocket, and now he will be sacked by the IMG defense. Couple of Ascenders got there to make the play. Nolan Smith leading the charge. And a loss of about 4, second down and 14. Nolan Smith, the Georgia Bulldog commit out of Savannah.
second and 14.
Down to 4 minutes to go, first half. 14-0 IMG. Northwestern's defense keeping them in the ball game. And now the offense trying to get something set up. A little tunnel screen going to that outside edge, incomplete. Tried to find Nigel Bethel, the senior at wide receiver, on that little underneath tunnel screen.
Yeah. Well, and the fans really fired up here in the stands. I mean, they are truly loving every minute of this game. Again, not a lot of points on the board, but the action has certainly been on both sides of the ball, as now this IMG defense has to make sure that they keep it that way at 14-0.
Atwell in the shotgun, takes the snap, has to avoid the pressure, flushed out to his right. Atwell throws it down the field. That is intercepted by IMG. Picked off by the Ascenders. As number 24 for IMG, the Clemson commit Mike Jones with the interception.
Well, you could see the progression leading up to this very play. As I said earlier, if you're going to go for the big play, you got to make sure you're executing with precision, because this IMG Ascender defense will absolutely take advantage of the situation, and they absolutely did right there on that play.
Atwell was flushed out to his right, and he threw it into an area where there was about 4 or 5 gray jerseys.
Mike Jones always stepping up for the big plays, but right there, it could have been any of those Ascenders. Really just not the vision that you want to see when throwing that ball down the field.
So for the Ascenders, 1st and 10 on their own 26-yard line, as it'll stay Annexstad as the quarterback. Annexstad will hand the football off to the left side. Plenty of room across the 35. A flag comes in at the end of the play as Trey Sanders dances across the 35-yard line. But a couple of yellow hankies on the field that need to be examined, as well an injured Miami Northwestern defensive lineman back near the original line of scrimmage.
Sanders looking real hungry on that play there. I mean, he just had lots of speed going down the field. Really didn't think they'd be able to hold on to him. He was just moving quick, but they were able to stop him. Now it's just a matter of who this penalty is going to be called on.
The Northwestern lineman being helped off the field, Walter Fowles. Walking off the field under his own power. The penalty will go against IMG. A holding penalty, but a holding penalty that was a little bit down the field. So it's one of those awkward first downs. Call it 1st down and 16 for IMG at their own 20.
Well, again, both of these teams seem to, at times take 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Really not a good recipe if you're looking to put points on the board.
Before the ball was handed off, the flags fly, the whistles blow.
This is a false start against
And it's
IMG.
false start against IMG, so it's 1st and 21 for the Ascenders at their own 15-yard line.
As we watch even the comments coming through here on Facebook, we do follow them along. We love hearing all your feedback. People are talking about, obviously, what it's going to feel like for the losing team after this game, and it is going to be devastating. The stakes are incredibly high. Both teams ranked number 1. Both teams have a lot on the line. This Northwestern team certainly does not want to go back into Miami-Dade County with an L on their score.
Pass complete out to the left side, getting it into the hands of number 89. That is Logan Compton, the junior from Cypress, Texas. And you look at this Miami Northwestern team, they kind of come into this game, yes, they're undefeated, but without a lot to lose. A loss doesn't hurt you really at all in your hunt to win a state championship, where a win vaults you pretty much into the top 25 nationally, regardless of the poll. Handoff, trying to get to the edge on that right side, and Northwestern able to spin down.
No, you're absolutely right. It's really about the bragging rights here in this game. Certainly, to kind of be able to call yourself the best team in Florida. But the truth of the matter is that a game like this, a matchup like this, is going to expose the weaknesses for both teams that they need to be prepared to address before they start getting deep into their schedule.
And for Northwestern, a team that in one of those higher levels of the FHSAA can get themselves into the state playoffs by winning their district, otherwise have to rely on the new playoff point system. throw down the field. Jump ball, that is going to be, was it intercepted? Yes, it was. Picked off by Northwestern, as that is the playmaker, Devon Wilson, heading to the University of Florida. He tiptoes the sideline with the interception.
No, great reception there. Again, there were a couple Northwestern players there ready to pounce on that opportunity, and he did it. Good for him, right on the sideline there. We had to actually wait a second to even make that call because we couldn't see past the players on the sideline, but you know, this could be that pivotal moment to turn this game around for Northwestern.
So Northwestern will have first down and 10 as that ball got tipped up into the air and intercepted by Devon Wilson, one of the better defensive backs in the state of Florida, and heading to the University of Florida. First down and 10 Northwestern, as they're at the 33 of IMG. Big chance for Northwestern to take back some momentum. Under pressure, Atwell. Atwell has to evade, and he is going to be sacked back in his own territory.
Wow.
As he was swallowed up by the Georgia Bulldog commit, Nolan Smith.
That absolutely had to hurt. I mean, they lost major yardage there, major momentum, especially following an interception. This is just a horrible setback for Miami Northwestern.
Second and 27, a loss of 17 yards on the sack by Nolan Smith.
Atwell, for all his agility, I mean, he kept looking and looking. He even tried to go and break for the run and just wasn't able to get away.
So second and 27 from the IMG 49. Atwell going to go one-on-one down the left side. Jump ball incomplete. The Northwestern fans want a pass interference penalty. They will not get it, and it brings up third down and 27.
A lot of outrage from the fans there, and I mean, again, I myself couldn't see it, but there was a ref right there, right in front of that play. Didn't throw out the flag, and typically the referees we see here call a very strict game. I mean, we almost to the point of ridicule where they legitimately call just about everything on the field right there. If they didn't see it, they're not going to call it.
Northwestern with one timeout and 56 seconds left on third and 27. Atwell has to evade pressure. Atwell just going to get rid of it towards the Northwestern sideline, incomplete, as he was under heavy pressure there by a couple of different IMG ascenders and made the smart move to just throw it out of bounds once he was outside the tackle box, and Northwestern will punt it away 49 seconds at their own 49.
Well, we're seeing the change in strategy. We're seeing an IMG defense who realizes that Atwell is a threat on the run. And so they've been able to now shut him down, not only on his passing game, but on the run as well. And these Bulls, even on this drive, are paying dearly for it.
Hightower back deep to receive, Robbins to punt. Robbins has been a very solid punter thus far for Northwestern. Back deep to receive, the dangerous Hightower. Kick will bounce near the 22-yard line and deaden right there at the 19. Punt inside the 20 by Larry Robbins. So if you're IMG, 38 seconds, you have 3 timeouts.
Yeah, best punt there so far by Miami Northwestern. You know, puts really the pressure on the offense to make something out of this. And again, against this Northwestern defense, it's not going to be easy to make this a productive drive for the IMG offense.
So first and 10 IMG, and the decision here for the Ascenders is, do you go for it here? Do you try to get down the field against this Northwestern defense? You have the use of all of your timeouts,
yes,
and you have plenty of big play threats on the field.
Well, if you know Coach Wright, if you know this IMG team, this is where the sparks begin to fly. This is where they start to pull out the big plays.
4 wide receiver set and 1 back in the backfield. Back to pass, looking under pressure. Now going to go one-on-one. That ball's caught by Hightower, and he's down to the 45-yard line. So we get our answer right away as they go to Hightower for a gain of around 36 yards.
Well, I love it when the team makes me look good, right? Because I certainly call the fact that we were going to see a big play, another big play by someone who we've been talking about all night, Brian Hightower.
Annexstad with a gain of 36 yards. First down IMG at the Miami Northwestern 46-yard line. 31 seconds and 3 timeouts. Annexstad in the shotgun. 4 wide receiver set. Annexstad, quick pass is going to be caught at the 41-yard line. And quickly IMG takes a timeout as it was caught on the edge by Riker Brazerall.
I think he tried to go for the sideline, didn't quite make it, had to make a bit of a dive early just to make sure that he caught that ball. But again, it's that awareness and having to make that decision. Do I make sure I catch that ball, or do I try to go for the sideline and just hope that I can catch the ball in the process? He knew he wasn't going to reach it. But again, fortunately, good game management, 3 timeouts, and now down to 2.
2 timeouts, 26 seconds left for the Ascenders. They lead it 14-0 and would love to get this to a 3-score game before halftime and take all the momentum in the locker room here at IMG Academy Field. Second down and 5. They gave a gain of 5 on that out route to Brazerall.
You know, it's really been good, I think, for Annexstad to get the pressure that this Northwestern team has put on him, because especially after Miami Central, I know that it wasn't the best start for him, and we're seeing him really kind of come out like a star in this game so far.
Flushed out of the pocket, pick up of about 2 yards, as once again went right back to Riker Brazerall, as Annexstad was flushed out of the pocket there. Got 2, so it's 3rd and 3 from the Northwestern 39, 21 seconds remaining here in the first half. He did get out of bounds, so no need to call a timeout.
Now, I thought Brazerall there could have maybe gone for that first down, but, you know, they still got plenty of time on the board.
Annexstad back to pass, under pressure, evades one, gets rid of it, and it's nearly intercepted. And very frustrated with himself is Keon Armstrong, as he got a hand on it, but not 2. And now if you're IMG, interesting spot here. 16 seconds left. You're at the 39-yard line. It's 4th down and 3. Do you take a chance here, or do you just pin Northwestern back and take the opportunity and go up 14-0 at halftime?
Well, I'm putting on my Coach Wright hat. I'm seeing that we're up 14 points. I think they go for it and really continue to rack up the points.
Have use of 2 timeouts, so probably 3 plays for IMG if they can pick this up on 4th down and 3. On 4th and 3, they will not. Northwestern stuffs them at the 40-yard line. Tried to run a dive play to 22, Noah Kane, but Northwestern snuffs it out. So the Bulls are going to have probably 2 chances to go deep here with 12 seconds left on their own 40-yard line, and we've seen already the abilities of Tutu Atwell. He can go down the field with success. You got to think he's going to take probably a shot down the field. If it's caught, you take that final timeout and go from there.
Yeah, Kane is someone we've been talking a lot about this season and in this very abbreviated season. Surprised he wasn't able to make more out of that. But again, having those timeouts, great cushion to have in this kind of a situation here where you lost maybe about 10 seconds on that last play. But now you know that, you know, this is an opportunity where maybe they go big. Maybe they go for a long play here, which is, again, the norm for this IMG Ascender team.
1st down and 10, Bulls at their own 40. Atwell will drop back. Now he's flushed to the pocket. Atwell is going to be sacked. Number 54, Teron Vincent, the big 290-pound senior from Baltimore with the sack. Timeout will not be taken by the Bulls, and we go to halftime. After the first 24 minutes from IMG Academy Field, it's the IMG Academy Ascenders, 14-0 over Miami Northwestern, as we'll take a break for halftime and be back with the second half right after this.
Hot dog, popcorn, and beverages. Don't forget to visit the Smoothie King concession area. Tonight's smoothie of the game is Pineapple Surf. You've got to try it.
What happens when the pressure builds? When victory hangs in the balance? When they say you can't, no way, give up. We rise. What happens when the muscles become weakened? When the will to win is overcome by the fear of defeat? We rise. We rise because we know we have one chance, one opportunity to be great, one legacy to leave. So when victory seems impossible, we make it possible. And when the body feels like it can't take it anymore, the heart says yes. The spirit says one more. There is no man too important for one team. No game too big to overcome. How bad do we want it? Well, that will be determined in the trenches, battled under the lights. We have something to prove, and we won't hold back. This is our time, our game, our home. We rise because we are IMG.
Originally from Nigeria, the meaning of the last name is Osigwe is warrior. My warrior is somebody who, who is a leader, set a good examples, never gives up.
When you're a warrior, you're competitive. So competitiveness is just that's how we were raised. My dad has been competitive all his life.
When I was 12, I was playing in the West African region, a couple of ITFs tournaments, couple of challenges. At that particular time, it was survival. The most important thing for me was using tennis to get out of this uncomfortable situation.
My dad coming to US, he kind of came in playing. He was a tennis player. He's always told me stories about how when he was like 12 years old, he had to travel by himself, and not a lot of people can do that, especially at the age of 12. Coming from nothing, then trying to make it by yourself it's really tough. But it's also very inspiring for me just to know that my dad has been through so much. So it just like kind of pushes me. So that's just something he just taught us. So all three of us have just always grown up being competitive. We don't like to lose.
Looking at when he was younger, starting tennis, I think actually he helped Whitney to get better because they play every day and fight.
I came out on the clay courts in the back when I was younger, and I didn't really wear tennis clothes. I wore jeans and boots to play, but I played with my brother back when he did play tennis, and we would always argue about the score because one of us would cheat. And so, he comes over and watches for a bit sometimes, but when I'm on a changeover, he just talks about how he's so much better than me and he can beat me and stuff, but that's obviously not true. Well, I'm just starting out in the pros, so I want to get a higher ranking there and play some top players and do pretty decent against them. And also this year, one of my big goals is to finish juniors #1.
I told my dad, my mom, my brother, my sister, even my whole group that I play with. I want to be #1 in the world for pro.
If there's one person I want to be in front of me, it's her, so.
They are very competitive in their sports, but they look out for each other. Victoria sat on the bench, watching Whitney develop, at the same time cheering for her. So, I would say she's lucky she have a big sister to follow her footsteps.
I honestly think she listens to me more than she listens to my dad. So I just repeat what he says back to her, and I give her some advice from how I feel being a daughter and student and an athlete still on court as well. I just have to remember that there's always, whatever I do wrong, she's gonna do wrong too, so I have to just try and do what I can to be good at it so I know that she can do the same.
It's good because I would learn stuff from them to do in my game, like to have a good attitude and how to hit the ball and like on the footwork and what to say to yourself. All those things.
I'm a tough coach and a tough father. It's good to be tough, but at the same time, I think you have to balance it. Me being a coach is to teach the game of tennis, and me being a father is to teach the morals. So when you combine both together, I think it's a good chemistry.
Yeah, it's great. He's always available, and he understands me better than anybody else can, and I feel more comfortable with him than I probably ever would with anybody else. So, I mean, obviously at home he's a dad, and on the court he's a coach, so the fact that he can play both roles is really great. Heading into the French Open, I practiced a lot, I played a lot of matches.
I was coaching a lot. I was coaching over the phone. I woke up every morning almost about 4 a.m.
And it was more mental, like calm your nerves, stay positive, do your routines, but tactical-wise, it's just play your game and do what you usually do.
When she got to the finals, we kind of went back to our playbook, and then we knew she was going to win it.
It was actually my 5th match point, so I was going big, and I ended up making the big shot. But at the end, I was super happy, but I was really tired, so I just wanted to sit down. Tennis, you have to find ways to do things on a bad day, on a good day, so it's definitely taught me to find ways in life, and that not everything's going to be perfect, but you have to find a way around it. It's definitely a goal to exceed past what he's done, and I think I'm on the right path to it, but yeah, he just has experience that he always brings to me, so it's helping.
It's a family-oriented place. I mean, you guys can see it speak for itself. You know, everybody here is loving and caring. My job is to help my kids succeed, and I will not be able to do this without my wife, Jessica. She does a lot behind closed doors, and as a matter of fact, she does more than I do. And if I can come with 0 and raise my kids to be in this level, I think it speaks for itself. Everybody have the opportunity to learn from their elders. The journey that I have taken, either good or bad, I've passed it to my kids, and then I'm sure that wisdom is going to stay in them. My job is to help them succeed, and I think I'm doing my job.
So you love your game? So does he. You say ain't nobody gonna work harder? He said the same thing. You get an hour of training in before the sun even comes up, plenty of early risers out there. You got the gear, they got the gear. You got a secret weapon, this dude doesn't need one. See, this isn't just a game of inches, this is a game of ounces. And the next ounce you give might just be the one the other guy doesn't. Gatorade, rehydrate, replenish, and refuel.
So I started picking up golf when I was 6. First, I started playing golf because I see my dad play golf, so I just want to spend more time with him. And then my mom started playing golf too, so we as a family get to play and spend more time during the weekend. Like the first 2 years I played so bad, but then I keep playing better and better, and that's like the fun part of it. My mom and dad are very supportive. Like they always told me that like you can do it. They let me choose my path. I played a tournament in West Palm Beach, and one of the coach from IMG went to watch me play. So I came to visit at IMG. I was like, oh wow. This is a very tough decision because we're gonna be like 1,000 miles away from each other, but if we focus on the future, it's like we have more opportunity here. And I decided to come to IMG. Moving here is very difficult because the culture are different. Everyone speaks like different languages. But then I met a girl across the hallway, and she became my roommate on the second and third year. She's very nice, and she like brought me out of the room so I get to see more friends, so I get to use more English. It's kind of hard like processing, like when you say something, I will think in Thai and try to translate and talk back. But now it's kind of like, okay, you say it, I talk back. When I was in 7th grade, my goal was to one day play a tournament, like junior tournament in the US, so that more colleges get to see me and get like scholarship to the college. That was like the future back then. Anika Invitational is like one of the biggest tournaments in the US. I was very happy. That's like the best round I ever shot before, 65. That's my first win of a JJA event too, so beyond my dream. Mom and Dad always told me to do my best and be patient on what I'm doing, just stick on the progress, and one day it will be my day, and it's like happened.
We rise every morning with the promise of today, waking our tired muscles, focusing our restless minds. The echoes of those before us ring across the courts, blow across these fields. This is our sanctuary, a place where legends are made, where we rise up to every challenge, learn from every fall, step out of our comfort zone. Because the only comfort we know is filled with sweat and the scent of victory. So today, like every other, we press on, pushing the limits, defining what it means to be competitive. We'll let you in on a little secret. We can never reach our potential. Then what? We're done? No. What may be our limit today will be surpassed tomorrow, again and again and again. And when our body needs rest, we service the mind, the engine that helps us outsmart, outplay, outlast. Innovation gives us that edge. Vision charts a course for our future. It's not about chasing dreams or some imaginary sense of control. The only control we really have is how hard we try to learn, to persevere, to win. True champions are as competitive in the classroom as they are on the field or court, and they'll pursue a worthy cause with as much heart as they leave in the arena, because they know service strengthens more than the spirit. When the difference between good and great comes down to 1/10 of a second, unwavering focus, or endless endurance, well, that's what we're all about. That's why we rise every morning, knowing there are no limits to greatness. Limits are for speed signs, not leaders, not champions, not us. We are students. We are athletes. We are leaders. We are IMG.
Greetings, everybody, and thank you for joining us. On the show, we'll be discussing today's youth.
This is a generation that's been completely spoiled.
They don't want to work hard, but they really, really, really want to succeed.
They're slackers.
I mean, let's just get down to brass tacks.
They have no discipline, no work ethic whatsoever.
Follow through. Dropping that shoulder, come on.
They think they're so great at everything.
Keep pushing, C's.
Strong legs, one body, one more.
I mean, they just need to wake up.
They're stuck with phones in front of their faces. You know when I started working? When I was 13 years old. You won't see that today.
They all think it's Friday. I can't work today.
They're lazy and entitled and
Unmotivated.
impatient.
Selfish.
Crabby.
Greetings, everybody, and thank you for joining us. On the show, we'll be discussing today's youth.
This is a generation that's been completely spoiled.
Welcome back, everyone, for the second half from IMG Academy Field in Bradenton, Florida. IMG won the opening toss and deferred their choice to the second half. That choice was to receive. So for the first time today, Miami Northwestern will kick it away. 2 men back deep to receive for IMG right near the 5-yard line. The kicker, 38, Kendry Rosales. As Rosales with the approach, he will boot it away. A shorter kick to be returned from the 11 by IMG. Big boost across the 30-yard line. Plenty of space to the 40 and out near the 42-yard line as the very, very speedy return man, number 44, Brendan Radley Hiles, the Cornhusker commit, takes it out across the 40, and that's where IMG will have first down and 10 at their own 44.
Well, Hiles is someone that you can always expect a lot of speed from, incredibly fast, and right there we saw a little bit of that. Got tripped up right there at the end, but just really was just gunning down the field, and one of the things that you need to be careful of. But again, this Northwestern team real strong on defense, and that's where it shows in times like that.
Zach Anixtad, the 6'4", 205-pound senior from St. Peters, Minnesota, remains the quarterback for IMG. First down and 10 at their own, we'll call it 44. And the first penalty flag will be against the Bulls of Northwestern. And it becomes first down and 5 for IMG at the 49-yard line. Call it closer to the 47. First and 5, IMG, as they'll go in a 5 wide receiver set. Anixtad alone in the backfield. Anixtad takes the snap, and he will find a completed pass across the 50, still on his feet to the 45, and out of bounds near the 41-yard line into the hands of Trey Sanders.
Well, Jalen Kelly there pushing him out, but really, I was surprised he even got as far as he did. He had 3 Bulls on him for about 5 yards there, and finally he just decided to make his way off the field.
Gain of around 12 on the play. First down and 10, IMG at the Northwestern 41. Anixtad in the shotgun. Anixtad will hand the ball off to his tailback. Gets across the 35, across the 30, down to the 28-yard line. As carrying the football for IMG, Noah Kane, the 5'11 sophomore, junior, out of Flower Mound, Texas.
Well, while we've seen a pretty mixed game in terms of passing and running offense from IMG so far, they're really coming into this second half with a full running strategy, and it's working for them. Really not something I expected, especially against such a strong Northwestern defense.
First down and 10, IMG at the 29-yard line of Northwestern. Ascenders trying to strike quickly and take a 3-score lead over the visitors from Miami. Handoff up the middle. Kane, plenty of room as he gets inside the 20, near the 18-yard line. A run of 11 by Noah Kane, who still has his college prospects open as a number of high major offers, as we have arrived at a timeout here less than a minute into the first half, for third quarter, I should say.
Well, really, I think what Northwestern is realizing here and why they called the timeout is IMG just made incredible progress down the field here. I mean, this has been an impressive run on this drive, already just about in the red zone, and that is not a position you want to be in when you're under by 14 points and you're only a couple minutes into the third quarter.
As we see both teams taking a breather here as a timeout was called by the Bulls. I think Northwestern kind of needed to get their second win there, as IMG had very quickly driven into the red zone of Northwestern. They've got first and 10 at the Northwestern 19-yard line, as Zach Anixtad, the quarterback, has led this drive against a very good Miami Northwestern defense that is returning to the field. If you're just joining us, IMG, white helmets, gray jerseys, gray pants. They move from left to right. Miami Northwestern, white helmets, or I should say yellow helmets, white jerseys, yellow pants. They move from right to left here in the third quarter. 2 backs, 2 wide receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Anixtad fakes the handoff, under pressure to the end zone. That is intercepted by Northwestern. Intercepted by the Bulls and taken out across the 20-yard line. Picked off for the second time today by the Gator commit, Devon Wilson.
Well, and again, this is one of the best teams in the country, and I'm talking about the Miami Northwestern team. You can't go for these explosive plays and expect to pull them off like IMG tends to do against many teams. Right there were plenty of Bulls around that situation there, and sure enough, they capitalized on it. Great interception by Northwestern. Now it's up to this IMG defense to hold them in place.
Javad Wilson with his second interception of the evening. He had that sideline tip drill pick earlier on in the contest. Picks that one off near the goal line, less than a minute into the half. So Northwestern will have 1st and 10 at the 20 after about an 18-yard return by Wilson. Trips to the near side of the field. Atwell back to pass. Atwell has to dance away as he's flushed out to the right side. He'll look to keep it himself. Has room as he now cut back across the field. Running backwards as he tries to avoid a swarming defense. And he winds up losing about 3 yards on the run as he's down near the 17. Give Tutu Atwell all the credit in the world for trying to make something happen, but it winds up being a loss of about 3 yards.
Not a lot of progress there, but you got to give Atwell the credit. I mean, he really went up and down the field there looking for an opportunity to break out on the run, and this IMG defense was just not going to let him do it.
Once again, a big thank you to the folks joining us across all platforms via Facebook or on YouTube, and appreciate whether you're an IMG fan from across the country or one of the rabid fans from Miami-Dade County tuning in tonight. We appreciate you joining us as a handoff up the middle for the Bulls will get near the 20-yard line, maybe past, as carrying the ball Aaron Lewis for 3 or 4 yards to bring him a 3rd down and long for Northwestern. And as you and I were walking around the concourse during the halftime period, a lot of blue and gold of Miami Northwestern that were getting some refreshments here at IMG Academy Field, and you had to be over there to really appreciate how well this Northwestern team has traveled here tonight.
No, it's great to see that level of support, and again, these players, not only for IMG, which we always talk about, but even on this Northwestern team, we definitely have some future stars in the making.
And a bobbled snap, and jumping on it is the Ascenders down at the 9-yard line. A big miscommunication there, as jumping on the football, number 42, Nolan Smith, who's had a huge game defensively for IMG.
Certainly not the direction that I saw this possession taking, but again, IMG will absolutely exploit any opportunity you give them. We see it time and time again, regardless of the team, regardless of where they're from. This IMG team excels in those opportunities, and there we see it. Fumbled the ball, IMG recovers, and here they are now in the goal zone.
And that play Atwell was not expecting the football. The snap might have clipped somebody's knee. It was not a clean snap where it just sailed right past Atwell. It kind of got deflected. Atwell wasn't really expecting it, and it winds up being 1st and goal at the 9 for the IMG Academy Ascenders. Toss play to the near side of the field. Cutting it up at the 5, pushing forward to the goal line. Did he get in? No. Short by a yard was Noah Kane.
Well, it was an incredible run. I mean, he really made a lot out of those last few yards. I thought he was certainly going to be in the end zone. We'll see that happen here, but Northwestern has to fix their problems at the center position.
Quarterback sneak to the end zone. Touchdown, IMG. Zach Annexstad sneaks it in from a yard out, and IMG's lead balloons to 3 scores. It's 20-0 Ascenders on a 1-yard touchdown run by the senior quarterback from St. Peters, Minnesota, in Zach Annexstad.
Well, despite the thrown interception in IMG's last possession, the truth is Annexstad has shown significant improvement against this Miami Northwestern team versus the Annexstad we saw up against Miami Central. He has a great handle not only on this game, but on his offensive line.
Extra point is up. It is good. 21-0 IMG, and as you just saw there on the replay, the quarterback Annexstad got the sneak, and Noah Kane was coming right behind him just in case he needed a little push into the end zone.
That's right.
Wanted to make sure that the surge for Annexstad was enough. It was for an IMG touchdown, as an eventful first 3 minutes and 9 seconds of the third quarter have the Ascenders up on Northwestern 21-0. This is a Miami Northwestern team that we kind of talked about it earlier in the broadcast, that if they lose this game, it shouldn't affect them. They more than likely will stay as the number 1 team in Class 6A.
Yeah.
They are not affected at all with trying to win a district championship or get into the FHSAA 6A playoffs, which this year is a little bit different. If you don't win your district championship, you have to earn your way in by a new point system the state of Florida has instituted. Basically, the thought behind that is a team can't go 2-8, but go 2-2 in their district and sneak into the playoffs.
Well, but what we're seeing here tonight is the level of play and the level of competition that these teams are only typically used to seeing towards the end of the season. And they're getting this early in the season. And again, I think this helps give them a lot of focus on where they need to work.
Never hurts to have a big game. And the final day of September is another good kick is taken near the goal line by Northwestern, and it will be ruled to have gone into the end zone. And in high school football, you're not allowed to return it from the end zone. So Northwestern will start with 1st down and 10 at their own 20-yard line with 8:51 to go in the third quarter. 21-0 IMG.
Well, and again, while the score may be lopsided and currently a shutout, the truth is that this Northwestern team has made IMG earn every single point. And really, again, a 21-point lead this early in the third quarter is nothing to get comfortable on. This game can still turn very quickly.
And a reminder, everybody, looking ahead, 2 weeks from now, October the 13th is the next time that the IMG Academy Ascenders play here at home, and we'll have the broadcast on IMG Academy TV, that game against West Oaks. Atwell will keep the football himself across the 25. He's got space. Atwell steps out of bounds as everybody in a gray jersey and a black shirt were all pointing down the sideline saying he stepped out, and it winds up being 1st down and 10 on a very good run from Atwell.
Well, again, a scary situation. Doesn't take a lot to turn this game around when you're only up by 21. And, especially this IMG team, you can tell, doesn't take it for granted. They're going to be pushing hard the entire game. As the motto goes for this year, everything is earned, and they're not going to let this Northwestern team get some easy points on the board.
Officially a run of 14 from Atwell. 1st down and 10 at the 34-yard line for Northwestern. Atwell remains in the shotgun. IMG shows blitz. Handoff up the middle will not get much. Out to the 35, Aaron Lewis carries the football for maybe a yard. Call it 2nd down and 9 from the 35-yard line of Northwestern. 8:25 to go, third quarter.
2-2's back for Miami Northwestern.
What this Miami Northwestern team needs to do is, again, stay penalty-free and focus on the drive. They continue to make a lot of mistakes on the big plays, and the penalties keep coming back to haunt them.
Northwestern gets their formation set. 4 wide receivers. Now Atwell looks to throw. Atwell has a man. Complete across the 40, near the 42-yard line. Got it into the hands of Quavon Beckford.
Pass complete to Quay Beckford, number 6.
Beckford gets out across the 40 to the 43. So it's 3rd and short for Northwestern. 3rd down and a yard from the 43.
No, this shorter passing game has really been effective for Northwestern. Wouldn't be surprised if they try to stick with that going forward.
They'll run it, and they will not get the 1st down on first effort, but they will get it on second effort. Great effort there by Corey Hammett to pick up the 1st down. It looked upon first contact like he had been stopped short of the 1st down marker, but he surges for that 1 yard he needed for a 1st down Northwestern.
No, I certainly expected them to bring out the chains, but good for them. They keep this drive going, and, it's all about keeping that momentum.
Back to pass, and sacked. But a flag comes in right at the end of the play. As sacked there is Atwell. As we've called his name a couple times, Nolan Smith was there to make the shoestring tackle as a flag is out, and we will see what the gentlemen in the striped shirts have to say. It looks to be against Northwestern on initial indication.
Well, and again, for those watching at home, if you didn't catch that incredible speed by this IMG defense on the blitz, Really, even a guy like Atwell, who's quick on his feet, has great agility, has been seen to break out on the run, wasn't able to make much of that whole situation, and now it finds himself in an even more unfortunate field position after this penalty.
Northwestern gets called for an illegal block below the waist, and so it brings up your average run-of-the-mill 1st and 29. For Northwestern at their own 25-yard line. They've got to get all the way out across midfield to the 46-yard line of IMG, and we'll have movement up front. And it will be false start. It will be 1st and 34.
Well, and these are the kind of things that you need to work on in practice, which is when there are high tense situations, you need to stay cool, calm, and collected, not make more mistakes. And this is what we're seeing, a weakness here in this Miami Northwestern offense, where under the gun, when they've got 30 yards to make up here, they're finding themselves making even more mistakes, just continuing to dig that hole they're in.
This is a learning experience if you're Northwestern. You go back home and say, listen, we're not going to play a team that's any better than this all the way through our schedule. So take what we learned in this game and go after a state championship. Back to pass is Atwell. Atwell is going to look to keep it himself. Atwell gets to the outside across the 30-yard line. A solid run from Atwell, who is corralled out of bounds by Arthur Sitkowski of IMG, and gives his quarterback counterpart a pat on the helmet as the big guy Sitkowski, 6'4", 215 pounds from Old Bridge, New Jersey, had to corral
little bit of props
Atwell
there from Sitkowski on the sidelines, but unfortunately we're seeing a guy who, again, has been a standout player in this game, Atwell, down on the field just after coming off the sidelines on that run. You wonder if maybe he pushed a little too hard on that run, because he certainly didn't seem to make contact with anybody, even coming off into the sideline.
As he is stretched out on that near side of the field. 6:27 to go here in the first quarter of the second half, with IMG holding a 21-0 lead as he is still being attended to.
Well, this would be a devastating situation for this Miami Northwestern team because they have been leaning a lot on Atwell. And while, this defense has kept him incredibly busy and under a lot of pressure, he's really been able to rise above it and make some incredible plays to keep these drives alive in many cases. But it's some of the other players on that offensive line that need to stay clean from penalties because that's really what's been hurting them and really, I think, kept them off the board this late in the game.
As you mentioned, penalties have really been the kryptonite for Northwestern tonight. They've moved the ball, and those penalties oftentimes have swung field position to give a short field to the Ascenders, as up is Tutu Atwell. The Louisville commit will walk off the field under his own power, as he has to go back. It looks like he had to retrieve his mouthpiece there. You can't re-enter the football game on this play unless Northwestern were to call a timeout. He will head to the sideline and is jogging off the field fully under his own power, so wouldn't be surprised at all to see Atwell within a play or two.
Again, this team has been incredibly dependent on him. They'll probably give him a second look here once he gets to the sideline, but I have no doubt he'll come back within a play or two.
So Justin Hill Jr., who is the only listed quarterback on the roster. Atwell, among others, listed as an athlete on the roster. So Hill, listed as both a quarterback and a wide receiver, will be the quarterback. He's got a back to his right and a 4 wide receiver set. And again, Northwestern is hurt by the penalty, as another false start will push back Northwestern, as it's going to be 2nd down and 30 from the 24-yard line.
And he didn't get a clear view on it, but it looks like, again, the weakness seems to be at that center position where they've had issues all night. What you want to keep in mind is that this is a very senior-heavy team. I mean, they don't have a lot of under-freshmen here. This is predominantly a senior team, and they shouldn't be making these mistakes.
In the shotgun is Hill. Hill will take the snap, rolling out to his right. Under pressure, he will dump it off, and a penalty flag will come out. Try to get it to Kearon Davis. as a helmet popped off of Justin Hill as well. You know, he'll have to exit the football game, but a penalty flag came out on the throw to Davis. As the referees conversing here on what the penalties will be, penalty or penalties. With 6:22 to go in the third quarter, IMG leads Miami Northwestern 21-0.
Looks like it could have been a roughing the passer. I mean, we'll see here, but Atwell coming back in for Northwestern.
We've got a penalty against IMG, and then we've got a personal foul roughing the passer against IMG. First penalty declined. Second penalty, the personal foul accepted. So tack on 15 yards. And the biggest thing about tacking on 15 yards is it turns second down and 30 into 1st and 10. Automatic first down on the personal foul.
Great opportunity here for Northwestern. Atwell back in the game. You got to expect that they're going to try to capitalize on this.
So it's 1st and 10 for Miami Northwestern.
1st and 10 Northwestern at the 37.5-yard line for the Bulls as they're trying to get back into this football game. They put Atwell back into the game. Atwell will hand it off. Room across the right side, getting near the 40 and then shoved back was number 34, Devontae Kendrick. Couple different ascenders in on the tackle. Gain of, call it 2. Second down and we'll say 9 from the 39-yard line for Northwestern.
Well, the offensive and defensive line went toe-to-toe there, and, you know, there was even a little bit of, again, extracurriculars going on after the play finished, but, you know, it goes to show how evenly matched these teams are.
Man in motion. Atwell will fake the handoff now. Atwell scrambling. 3 or 4 flags are on the field as Atwell dances forward to the 48-yard line near the first down marker, but we'll have to check those penalty flags as about 4 different officials there chuck their flag, and it is a penalty against Miami Northwestern that will march the Bulls back after what would have been a first down run. As that was a relatively obvious penalty. You saw pretty much every referee that had their eyes on that portion of the field whistling the penalty, and that will bring up second down and very long. Back to the 20, so it's second down and 28 yards to go from the 20 for Northwestern as behind the sticks yet again are the Bulls.
Well, and again, there may be many teams that Northwestern faces where they can get away with these penalties and still come off with a W at the end of the game. Not the case here against the IMG Ascenders, who will capitalize on these penalties.
In the shotgun is Atwell. Atwell will hand it off, and getting through the first level of tackles is the ball carrier, number 23, Aaron Lewis. Got through that first level of IMG tacklers and picked up a handful of yards, but it'll be third down and still quite long for Northwestern. Third down and call it officially about 24 yards or so. As Atwell will now see another penalty that marches it forward to the 40.
Well, we're right back to where we were just about 10 minutes ago. You know, it's, where, again, these penalties on both sides of the ball really hurt these teams. IMG's just been able to hold off this Northwestern team from really getting a solid drive going. But Northwestern, again, if they get their act together, if they stay penalty-free, they could make it down the field and possibly get into the end zone, but they continue to be their own worst enemy.
Third down, 8 yards to go. Lewis will try to bounce it to the outside, and he is thrown down to the ground by the defensive standout tonight for IMG, Nolan Smith. Teron Vincent, number 54, in on the tackle as well. And that'll bring up fourth down and about 8 yards to go for the Bulls. And Northwestern will punt as we're under 5 to go here in the third quarter. What has been a slower moving third quarter. Quite a few penalties have been whistled. As Brian Hightower back deep to receive. Brendan Radley Hiles the up back. And IMG will ask to talk things over. A timeout whistled here at IMG Academy Field. There's 4:30 to go in the third quarter. IMG Academy leads Miami Northwestern 21-0 as we'll take a break. You're watching Academy TV.
So, you want to be the best? So does everybody else. See, it takes more than wanting it. You got to show up. And when you show up and camp here, you'll be ready to compete anywhere.
Northwestern to boot it away. 4th down and 9 from their own 39 as Hightower back deep to receive, standing around his own 27-yard line. And a penalty flag is down. Movement up front. Wait for the official indication. It will be a false start against Northwestern. 4th and 9 becomes 4th down and 14 for Northwestern.
And really, this is the penalty we've seen time and time again against this Northwestern team. They're just not on the same page.
So booting it away will be the Bulls on 4th and 14. Hightower moves up to about the 30-yard line. Has a blocking back in front of him. That kick is mishit, but we'll take a big Miami Northwestern bounce. Now the ball is fumbled, and it looks like IMG got the football back. A rather ill-advised move there by number 44 for IMG, and Radley Hiles, who's played very well tonight. That ball was toe punched down the field, and Radley Hiles decided he was going to try to pick it up.
No.
He couldn't handle it and had to jump back on it.
I think he saw an opportunity where if he was able to get control of that ball, where he could have run it down the field. But, again, always risky, especially when he had good coverage on him.
So either way, good field position for the Ascenders. 1st and 10 on their own 44-yard line. Trips to the left and one wide receiver to the right side in Hightower. One-on-one on the near side. Quarterback remains Zach Anixtad. His tailback, Trace Sanders. Has the little speed option. Sanders is gobbled up back at the 40-yard line. As for the Bulls, number 36, Zechariah Esdale, who holds a Florida Atlantic offer, is there to make the stop. Brings up a 4-yard loss, 2nd down and 14 from the 40.
Well, great awareness by the Northwestern defense there. I mean, they really followed that play all the way through and saw it coming a million miles away.
2nd down and 14 after the speed option loses 4. Back to pass. Rope and complete across the 45. Ball pops out, and Northwestern's going to pick it up across the 40 to the 39-yard line. Ball was ruled to have been controlled, and it's Zechariah Esdale, the aforementioned FAU offer, that gets the first big turnover of the game, the 3rd turnover now.
Yep.
That's committed by IMG. All have come in some way through the passing game, 2 interceptions, and now a fumble after a completed pass.
Well, and this gives Northwestern maybe the best field position they've had since the second quarter.
When the pressure builds.
Really, I was surprised that ball kind of sat on the field as long as it did, because as soon as that ball popped out, bounced around a little bit, almost sat still for a minute before Northwestern even was able to get there to pick it up.
And looking at the replay, no doubt about that one, that about 3 or 4 steps had been taken by the IMG receiver before helmet went to football and popped it out. No doubt that that was a completed pass and a fumble. And it's 1st down and 10 at the 41-yard line for the Bulls of Northwestern, who are trying to get back in this football game with 3:39 to play in the 3rd. In the shotgun, it'll be a keeper across the 40 and taken down near the 38-yard line. Justin Hill Jr., the ball carrier, carries for around 4. 2nd down and 6 coming up at the 37 for Northwestern.
Adeli, number 20, with the stop.
Hill, the quarterback,
2nd and 6 on the 40.
as they're giving Atwell the series here. Two wide receivers to each side and a back on the left side of the formation, and Aaron Lewis. Lewis will go in motion, snap to Hill. Hill looked quickly, now scrambling. Hill coming back to the left side, looking down the field. He'll look to keep it. Hill realizes there wasn't much for him, and he's out of bounds after a gain of a yard. It'll bring up third down for Northwestern after the quarterback keeper by Justin Hill Jr.
Well, and going back to the beginning of the game when we talked about really what the coaches felt were going to be the keys to the game to win this game against such a powerful team, it was that man-on-man coverage. It was making sure that they were sticking to their coverage strategy, and it's working for them because even in this situation here, they're holding Northwestern to their position on the field.
Pistol formation for Hill. He'll run the speed option. Pitch out to Corey Hammett. Hammett trying to get to the edge. He does not. A penalty flag is down as Brendan Radley Hiles on the stop, but a penalty flag on the near side of the field. Came out right around the time the ball was snapped, and it's at the line of scrimmage. So we'll see whether this will give a first down to Northwestern or more than likely be declined if it's against the Bulls.
Well, Radley Hiles has shown that you don't need to make the tackle. You just need to give him just enough pressure, really get enough hands on him, just enough to get him to trip up and end the play.
It's a hold against Miami Northwestern. IMG elects to take the penalty, so it's 3rd and 15 instead of 4th and about 5. As Hill remains the quarterback for Northwestern, 2:40 to go in the third. Twins left, twins right, and a back in the backfield. Davis goes in motion from left to right. Back to pass goes Justin Hill. Hill will float a screen pass complete, but gobbled up by IMG as making first contact was the Michigan Wolverine commit Charles Thomas.
Well, great awareness there by Hill because he had 3 Bulls there that all could have really made that catch. But it was really his only option in that play scenario there, and unfortunately they weren't able to capitalize on that to move the ball.
And on 3rd down and long, IMG snuffs out the Miami Northwestern screen, and the Bulls will have to punt it away. Standing back at the 36-yard line is the punter, and the return man is Radley Hiles for IMG. Bulls able to get the punt off. A shorter punt, which closer to the goal line is a good punt, as that will die near the 23-yard line, which is where IMG will start with just over 90 seconds left to go in the third quarter. IMG with the only touchdown here in the third, as they have a 21-0 lead over Northwestern.
968-297.
And this
968-297.
Well, really, it's the defensive game that we've been expecting all night. It continues to be a defensive game. I don't really see a lot more points coming on the board. I figure, IMG or certainly even both teams might get on the board here. This would send a huge message across the country if IMG is able to hold on to shut out Miami Northwestern.
A very good Miami Northwestern team came in as the number 26 team in the country by the Max Preps computer rankings. The same rankings that have IMG as the number 1 team in the nation, and Northwestern the number 1 team in Class 6A. But IMG took a little too long that time to get the play in and off, and it will be a penalty against IMG. 1st and 10 becomes 1st and 15 on the delay of game.
You got to give props, though, to IMG. I mean, they really have gotten a much better handle on their penalty situation. Obviously, right there, that cost them, but, they've certainly gotten a lot better about it.
First pass incomplete as trying to throw that little crossing route to Owen Stayer Bauer. Number 89, Logan Compton. Incomplete. 2nd down and 15 coming up. You look at this Miami Northwestern team, a lot of talent on this team that will be back a season from now. You look at a guy like Samuel Brooks, the linebacker, with offers from Miami and Louisville As that ball tipped in the air, a diving catch is made. It is intercepted. Third pick of the game for Northwestern as Sherrod Oliver, the DB, with the pick. Oliver with offers from East Carolina, Florida Atlantic, and Temple, among others.
Well, and I can assure you they're probably watching tonight, and this is going to give them a lot of confidence in those offers because it's capitalizing on those plays, especially when your team is down by 21. That could be the difference maker in shifting the momentum on this game.
It's 3 interceptions today by the Bulls, and 2 of them have come on tipped balls. As that one, you can't really blame Annexstad for that one. He threw a nice crossing pattern over the middle that bounced off his receiver's hands and into the waiting arms of Sherrod Oliver. In the shotgun is Northwestern. Hill over the middle, incomplete, as it's still Justin Hill at quarterback. We haven't seen Tutu Atwell for more than a play or two since he went down with that injury.
Well, great fake on that last play by Hill, and really not really sure who he was throwing it to, but had he had a receiver to catch that, again, could have been a big play for Northwestern. And so great on the first half of that play, not so great on the second half of that play, but they need to be consistent here to get into the end zone.
1:20 to go as Hill will toss it up one-on-one down the sideline. That is going to be incomplete. Tried to float it up for Nigel Bethel, who couldn't bring it in.
Well, that, again, incredibly dangerous for a team that's got momentum right now. That ascender just all over that play right there. It could have easily been an interception, just didn't quite have his bearings when he turned around for that ball.
So Northwestern 3rd down and 10 at the IMG 26-yard line. Snap over Hill's head. He will bobble it. It's picked up by IMG, and it'll be a foot race, making a man miss at the 40 to the 35. Spinning down to the 32-yard line is number 31, Mikkel Jones, the linebacker.
Mike Jones with an amazing play there. Great visibility down the field. Hit the brakes. Pulled the old Top Gun move. You know, just hit the brakes, saw all those defenders go right past him, and got just a few more yards out of that situation.
And Mikkel Jones has to be very pleased because he hails himself from Miami as he's able to pick that one up. He doesn't get to carry the ball much, so he was trying to make some people miss there in the open field. And field position flips, and it's first down IMG at the Northwestern 32-yard line. Annexstad back to pass, looks short, and finds his man inside the 30-yard line as he got it to the arms of Riker Brazerall, who has 3 or 4 catches tonight for the Ascenders. Stays inbounds, and 50 seconds remain in the third quarter.
Well, like you said, Jones has got to be grinning from ear to ear on that one. Originally hailing from the 305, and to put on a big play in front of this Northwestern team is certainly something that the family is going to be bragging about back home.
32 seconds, second down and 7, as a little bit of confusion from the Ascenders. Now they get set with Annexstad in the shotgun. 4 wide receivers. Annexstad gets it over the middle, complete as flags fly. Got it right back into the hands of Riker Brazerall, the senior from Grand Rapids. 17 seconds on the clock, but a flag on the field. And it is against IMG, and it is another false start penalty. We've seen quite a few procedural penalties tonight against both ball clubs.
What I hope doesn't happen here, which is what we saw a lot of against the Miami Central game, is where Annexstad really seemed to be out of sync with what the instructions he was getting from the sideline. It proved to be costly. They ended up actually swapping him out around the middle of the game. And certainly not something you want to have happen with another quarter still left in this game.
Annexstad in the gun, drops back. Annexstad going to go for the home run ball and overshoots the intended target. Tried to throw the big over-the-top pattern to Brian Hightower, but even Hightower at 6'4" couldn't go up and get that one. as that'll bring up a 3rd down and 12 with another probably 2 plays left to go in the 3rd quarter.
No, that pass was easily about 5 yards ahead of him. Wasn't even close, although those plays are what IMG is known for. It is something they execute very often and typically very precisely. Very uncharacteristic of this IMG team to not be in sync on that play.
Back to pass yet again. Quick pattern is going to be gobbled up. Open field tackle by Derek Nicholson as the defensive end is able to throw TJ Pledger to the ground. And that brings an end to the 3rd quarter of play from IMG Academy Field in Bradenton. Your score is IMG Academy 21, Miami Northwestern nothing, as we take our quarter break, brought to you by Under Armour. 12 minutes on the clock as the Miami Northwestern band, the heralded band that made the trip from Miami to Bradenton, plays here as a great crowd on hand, and probably 90% of them have stayed all the way through tonight as IMG will punt it away here on 4th down and 18.
Well, you can't say enough. It's great to see all the, parents, family members, just fans out here for both teams. But Miami Northwestern brought out the band, brought out the cheerleaders. I mean, it's great to see them have such a big presence here in Bradenton.
And it's a fake punt for IMG, and it's going to get near the 1st down. It's going to be a 1st down. IMG with Mike Jones carrying the football. They fake the punt on 4th and 18, and they pick it up. What a play call on the first play of the 4th quarter.
Again, not really what you're expecting from IMG because they were looking at limiting those explosive plays, but there pays off big time as it puts them pretty close to scoring position.
So 1st and 10 IMG at the Northwestern 18-yard line after Mike Jones, the linebacker heading to Clemson, carried that one into the red zone, and IMG with a chance to pretty much put this game away with a score. As a little counter play gets loose across the 15 to the 10, and inside the 10-yard line goes the tailback in TJ Pledger. Jalen Kelly on the stop for the Bulls. Number 31, the senior linebacker DB.
Well, after a couple unsuccessful runs by Pledger, I'm sure he's pretty excited to have kind of made that one work for him. I mean, give him a little bit of room, and he easily would have been in the end zone there. But Pledger is someone who you cannot give that kind of opportunity to because he will take it and run with it.
Pledger ran for 11, 1st and goal from the 7. Pledger tries to run it again, spins away from 2 Bulls, and the 3rd and the 4th wind up making the stop. Derek Nicholson, the defensive end, was one of the first guys to get there and needed a little help from his friends to put it away. A loss of 6 on the run by Pledger.
Well, and while Pledger really not a large guy, only 5'8", really clocks in at 195, which is pretty impressive. I'm sure that's all muscle.
Back to pass is Annexted. Under pressure, he will be sacked. Annexted taken down in the backfield by Samuel Brooks. He's been all over the field today for Northwestern, one of their more heralded recruits in the junior class. We mentioned earlier has offers at the high major level from Miami, Kentucky, Louisville, Michigan, Purdue, Rutgers, and Temple, as well as Colorado, and the majority, in fact all, of the mid-major schools in the state of Florida, FIU, FAU, UCF, and USF. 3rd and goal from the 19. Annexstad under pressure. Now steps up in the pocket. He gets rid of it, and he one-hops it towards his intended target in Riker Brazerall. But penalty flag is down with 10 minutes left here in the football game.
Well, we're seeing exactly why this has been such a low-scoring game. This Northwestern defense is fantastic. They are incredibly dominant. When they're on all cylinders like they are now, they've really brought these offensive drives by IMG to a screeching halt, and that's exactly what they're doing here. They've really minimized the damage in what could have been a very ugly game for this Northwestern team.
A holding penalty called against IMG marches it all the way back to the 35-yard line on a spot foul. And Northwestern deciding that they will take the yards as it pushes IMG out of field goal position. 3rd and goal from out of field goal range. 3rd and goal from the 35. Although Swanson wouldn't put it past him to have a 52-yarder in him. Long pass over the middle, nearly intercepted as pressure came quickly on Annexstad.
Devad Wilson there almost catching that ball right before it made contact with the ground. But again, you got to be careful on those explosive plays. It's cost Northwestern very dearly, because IMG's capitalized on those big plays. Right there could have gotten real ugly for IMG had Northwestern caught that interception.
But IMG, even if it had been a completion, wouldn't have mattered, as a penalty flag against the Ascenders moves it back another 5 to the 40-yard line. And so it is your run-of-the-mill 3rd and goal from the 40. The Gyrenes are a sack away from having 3rd and goal on their own side of the field, as the Ascenders have 3rd and goal from the 40-yard line. Get 10 yards or so, and Swanson's got the leg to bury it. They are going to have another flag come out, and you see 2 or 3 Bulls hear those whistles and just start jumping up as they're getting a little stir-crazy, as it's now 3rd and goal from the 45-yard line.
Well, this defense has really smelled the blood in the water. I mean, they've really done some damage to what was a pretty amazing IMG offensive drive here up until this point. Now we're seeing IMG being the one making these mistakes, and it's really cost them dearly. In totality, I think they've probably lost about 30 yards or so on this drive alone.
This is turning into that Ole Miss game from the first college football week where there's a big long fumble and you had 3rd and goal from about the 10 as that ball batted down in the backfield by Samuel Brooks.
Could have gotten ugly. Nobody around him, had a complete open field ahead of him. Had he been able to grab that ball, he would have been gone and in the end zone.
But there's a penalty flag on the play here on the near side of the field. As you see it there in the bottom left corner of your screen.
Well, seeing what happens is a snowball effect here. Psychologically, because these penalties keep getting called, the players grow frustrated because they are not able to keep the momentum of the game going, therefore causing them to make more mistakes. And so, really it's just, if you think that it's snowballing into more and more penalties, it's because that's exactly what's happening. They're getting frustrated. We're here into the 4th quarter. They're tired, and they just want to get this game over with, and these penalties really just bring all the momentum to a screeching halt.
The penalty flags were for offsetting personal fouls, so the play stands, and something that you don't see every day, a punt on 4th and goal. And that's what we have here for IMG.
No, certainly not from IMG, but we'll see if Northwestern's able to do something with this.
You don't see a punt on 4th and goal from anybody, much less the IMG Academy Ascenders, as that is a good punt, will be caught inside the 20, and a gain of only about 2 yards, as Devad Wilson was the punt returner, and he returned it for about 2 yards. It'll be 1st down and 10 for the Miami Northwestern Bulls. 9:34 to go in the football game. IMG pitching a shutout, up 21-0. The Ascender defense, they'd love to throw the goose egg on the board against a undefeated team, and perhaps we proved prophetic, as at the beginning of this game we said the two big numbers were 0 as in losses and 1 as in both of these teams can say they are the #1 team in either their class or, in the IMG's case, the country.
Well, the only thing that hurts more than a loss after a game like this is a loss with no points on the board. This is going to be a very long ride home for Northwestern if they're not able to put some points on the board.
A jet sweep finds Jaquez Stewart, who hits a big play across the 50-yard line, as Stewart took that one deep for about a 30-yard run. We'll see where they spot it. They give him the 46, a run of 26 by Jaquez Stewart, who's got an Illinois offer to his name, as well as ones from Florida Atlantic, UAB, and Valdosta. He's out at the 46 for a gain of 26. First down and 10, Northwestern at their own 46-yard line. 21-0 IMG. 4 wide receivers set, and a penalty flag is down, as there have been in excess of a couple dozen penalties tonight between the two ball clubs, as that will be a false start penalty against Northwestern.
This is a false start against Miami Northwestern.
Well, again, this seems to be the ongoing theme for this team. I mean, they absolutely have to work on this before they go deeper into the season. It has cost them greatly during this game. It has cost them some fantastic offensive drives. And here, again, at a time where they need to capitalize as the clock is winding down, under 10 minutes left on the clock, they can't afford to lose any more yardage on the offensive side of the ball.
First down and 15 for Northwestern at their own 41-yard line. Handoff up the middle, plenty of space across the 50, breaks some tackles to the 37-yard line, as Jaquez Stewart, who had that big run on the first play of the drive, gets a first down for Northwestern on the second play of the drive. First down and 10 Bulls at the IMG 37.
Well, and during the last possession, we saw Hill really going and leaning more on a passing game, and we've really seen them switch away and go back to a running game situation here, which is proving to be pretty fruitful against this IMG defense.
Justin Hill, the quarterback. Hill will keep it, and then the ball's batted around, incomplete. 2 or 3 different players had a chance to catch that one, as Hill pulled it out of the gut of his tailback, Stewart. Tried to flip it over the middle. It was batted around and finally fell incomplete. 8:54 to go in the football game. Second down and 10 for Northwestern.
Well, nothing will get you tired quicker than being amped up out there, ready to play, and then have, the entire momentum of the game come to a screeching halt over a penalty.
Man in motion, back to pass is Hill. Hill going to go for the home run ball, one-on-one. That pass is incomplete. One-on-one down the sideline, as it was Quay Beckford who was there, and it was denied. It looked like by Jaden Curry.
Well, incredible matchup there, and obviously we're waiting to see what this flag is here, but regardless of whether or not there was any pass interference, and just a great matchup there, going right up to the end zone.
It is a pass interference against the Ascenders of IMG. So it's first down and 10 Northwestern at the IMG 22-yard line, as the DB ruled to have gotten a little too physical.
Well, this is Northwestern's chance to put some points on the board and avoid a shutout.
Hill will run the zone read. He'll keep it himself. Hill still on his feet now, thrown to the ground inside the 25, probably near the original line of scrimmage to bring up second down and about 10.
And if you couldn't hear the reactions from the fans here of Miami Northwestern, they've been wanting that pass interference call for some time now. They get it there really at a time where they need it to get some points on the board this late in the game.
Second down and 10 with 8:14 to go in the football game. Ball at the 22-yard line for Northwestern. Man will go in motion in Stewart. Hill will sit in the pocket. He'll throw over the middle, in and out of the hands of Kearon Davis. Would have been a Northwestern touchdown, but it bounces out of his hands incomplete. So 3rd down and 10 with 8 minutes exactly on the clock. Play clock at 16 for Northwestern. And that was a chance. Davis wide open in the end zone. Just couldn't haul it in.
You got to be real careful with those big throws against this IMG defense. They will eat you alive if they got the opportunity, especially when you're just trying to put some points on the board.
Hill dancing. He'll run the football, makes a man miss. Hill gets near the 15-yard line before he's upended, as that'll bring up a 4th down for the Northwestern Bulls. And at this point in the football game, there's no reason not to try to keep the offense on the field. 4th down and 3 from the 15-yard line.
Well, you saw one of the IMG senders there really lose their footing where he could have stopped that run just a little bit shorter than where it ended up. But nonetheless, Northwestern has all the momentum in their favor here. They got to make sure they don't make a mistake here before they put some points on the board.
Justin Hill, the quarterback. 10 on the play clock. Stewart is tailback. 4 wide receiver, 2x2. Now a man will go in motion, and there's movement on the front line. Another procedural penalty. This one is a false start against Northwestern. So a 4th and 3 becomes 4th and 8 here with 7:07 to go in the football game. 4th and 8 from the 20 for the Bulls of Northwestern.
Well, at the end of the day, if this game stays the way it does and Northwestern gets shut out, really it's been to their own demise. The defense has been incredibly strong against Northwestern, but really the penalties have just racked up all game long.
Clock continues to tick, under 7 to go. Back to pass is Hill. Hill going to float one towards the end zone, and that is intercepted by IMG in the end zone. Picked off by the Ascenders, as underneath it, number 16 for IMG, Shamar McDowell, the Minnesota Golden Gopher, makes the pick.
Again, the big plays, you got to be accurate. You got to make sure that you're going to be able to execute, because if you give IMG the opportunity, they will take it. And time again, this IMG defense has shown that they excel at jumping on opportunities to swing the momentum and get that turnover.
As we take a look at the replay, Hill knew right away he wanted to go to the deep ball, but he underthrew it and intercepted in the end zone by the Golden Gopher.
Well, and the big mistake there by Northwestern is they had nobody else going to the end zone. They had the one guy. Everybody saw it coming, and you had 3 defenders there in the end zone for IMG. There was no way that they were going to allow that score to take place.
Looked like they were trying to go with the hitch and go there, try to fool IMG short and try to go over the top, but IMG had the corner guarding him. They got a linebacker over there and that a safety over the top.
Yep.
All of them went towards the football, and it's McDowell that had the easy interception as another procedural penalty up front. This one likely to go against the Ascenders, but we'll wait for official indications. And it will be delay of game against IMG. They took a little bit too long that time. And it's 1st down and 15 from the 15.
Well, really all IMG has to do here is just hang on to the scoreboard and really drag out this drive as long as possible. Momentum's on their side. The clock's on their side. Really doesn't make a whole lot of difference here if they put another set of points on the board.
Handoff for IMG off left tackle as carrying the football, Noah Kane. Kane picks up around 5 on the run. 2nd down and 10 from the 20 for the IMG Academy Ascenders. As the clock continues to move and is a friend of IMG today. 6:18 to go in the football game. 2nd down and 10 for Zach Anixtad in the offense. In the shotgun, Anixtad. He'll take the snap, run a counter play. As forward go the Ascenders out to the 29-yard line. as carrying the football for IMG. That time, once again, 22, Noah Kane.
Well, great run by Kane. It's what we are expecting to see every single game from Kane. And there again, he delivers. Great run there, even with 3 defenders on him. Dragged them a few extra yards, really to make a heck of a running play there for IMG to get them this kind of forward momentum on this drive. I think really what IMG is going to look to do here is to put some more points on the board where, again, some teams might just run the clock.
And yet again, Kane nearly kept his footing as he's pushed forward for a first down for the Ascenders. As the clock ticks near 5 minutes to go in the football game, as we have arrived at our final water break. And while we have a moment, we would like to take a moment to thank the following proud sponsors for their continuous support of IMG Academy. Those sponsors, Gatorade, Under Armour, and Stream Sports. Thank them for making this telecast of IMG Academy football possible and for everything they do here at IMG. Thank you to Gatorade, Under Armour, and Stream Sports. And a reminder, everyone, you can tune in October the 13th, 2 weeks from now, as the IMG Academy Ascenders take on the Flames of West Oaks Academy. Coverage at 6:45, kickoff at 7. That is a game that was not originally on the schedule, at least on that date, rescheduled due to Hurricane Irma, and that is the IMG Academy white team that will take on West Oaks Academy. We'll have the call for you right here on IMG Academy TV coming up in 2 weeks' time, October the 13th. That is a Friday night here in Bradenton. Toss play to the right side for the Ascenders. Gets across the 40-yard line and tripped up near the 44 is Noah Kane. As the clock continues to move, under 5 to go in the football game. And we'll say it again, we appreciate everyone, whether you watched on Facebook or YouTube tonight, or whether you came back on either of those apparatuses and are watching this game sometime in the future. We appreciate you spending part of your time in watching this football game between IMG Academy and Miami Northwestern, whether you're for the Ascenders or watching from the 305 from Miami Northwestern or are an unaffiliated fan. We appreciate you joining us on this Saturday night. We know there's a lot of football on tonight. We appreciate you having this game on.
No, we've had a huge audience all night, but again, thanks to Stream Sports for making us good and look great all broadcast long. And, you know, again, just awesome to have a team like that behind us that's really going to put on an amazing show game after game. And, you know, I think what's also exciting is that if you love high school football, this is a really front-loaded schedule. You know, not to diminish the rest of the schedule because we are playing nationally ranked teams, but to play 3 of the best schools, not only in the state, but in the country, really is just a privilege here in Florida.
Another procedural penalty as Jermaine Bird jumped off sides for Northwestern, and that's one that hurts a little bit more because it was 3rd down and 2. Now it's a 1st down for IMG as they are completely content to run the football and let this clock churn and get everybody home at a reasonable hour tonight.
Well, and going back to the psychological aspects of the game, when you're focused on what the play is and you get hit with a penalty, it throws everybody out of sync.
Handoff to the right side, and Northwestern is able to get the stop on the ball carry from number 6 for IMG Academy, that being Trey Sanders. 3 or 4 different Bulls got a hit on him at some point there.
Well, and a lot of momentum there because they threw him about 5 yards back, and I think it just goes to show the frustration coming out of this Northwestern defense, which really has done everything they could to stop this IMG team. Most teams are not able to hold them to 21 points. A lot of props going out to Miami Northwestern for really this defensive team is what everybody said it would be.
Back to pass is Annexstad. He will be unable to find his intended target as he tried to flip it over to the right side and get it to Montavious Brini, the tight end, who's committed to Temple, another South Florida product. He's from up over in Hialeah. 3:10 to go in the football game. 3rd down and 14 yards to go for IMG at the 47-yard line of the Ascenders. IMG looking to pick up the first down and keep this clock moving. They will run a counter play as Sanders trying to bounce it to the outside, and he's kept in check by this Northwestern defense as under 3 minutes to go now as the punt team will come on. Led, of course, by the punter Aiden Swanson, the junior out of Tampa, who has been very good on special teams all night long, whether on field goals, on extra points, I should say, or punts or kickoffs. Swanson has been excellent.
Well,
as
his
a timeout.
distance has been spectacular. His accuracy has also been on point. You know, he's really continued to put this team on a position to succeed time after time. Again, it's a role that as the years go by, they get a little more and a little more respect, you know, but you certainly realize in a game like this the impact that a kicker punter can have.
And someone we probably need to point out on those good kicks, good punts, you don't see the letters LS on a high school roster very often. You do here at IMG Academy. The long snapper Hayden Hood out of San Antonio, one of the best prep long snappers in the country, and had, during my time at the University of Iowa, had a long snapper tell me, if they don't know your name, you're doing a good job. Because the only time that you point out the long snapper is if he shoots one over someone's head or puts it straight into the ground. So the long snappers while I was there said, hey, if nobody knows who we are, that's part of the credo of a long snapper. If no one knows who we are, we're doing our jobs correctly because we keep putting long snaps right on the money for our kickers.
Well, and we've seen even at the center position what some bad snaps can do to a team. You know, it's really hurt this Northwestern team, and that's one of the key positions that they need to look at after this game.
And the punt, after another good long snap, is away. It will bounce and be downed by the Ascenders. And if you want to play college football somewhere, become a long snapper. It is all, especially at the Division I level, you will very rarely see a center as the long snapper. They are going to go out and find dedicated long snappers. If you become good at that craft, you become an in-demand player at the college football level, and they will carry one or two long snappers for that express purpose. So if you want to play college football and aren't 6'4", don't run a 4.4 40, learn to be a really good long snapper.
There you go. That's a good recruitment pitch.
And you don't have to be a big guy to long snap. You just have to be able to get it right on the money and be able to hold a block for a second or two. As handoff to Corey Hammett, he reverses his field once or twice and is tossed to the ground as the big man, number 19 for IMG, Xavier Thomas, the large 6'3", 260-pound defensive end, one of the best players in America at the prep level.
Yeah, certainly not somebody you want to see chasing you down. But really, what Northwestern needs to do here is now pretty much pull out all the stops because, again, the last thing they want to do is go back to Miami-Dade County, again, the prominent football hotbed, right, capital, you know, nationwide, with not only your first defeat of the season, but also your first shutout of the season.
I think if you're Northwestern, the last thing you want to hear is from your rivals at Central, well, we scored on them.
Sure.
Why couldn't you?
That's right.
But, again, this is a Northwestern team that has been game tonight. You look at the touchdowns IMG has scored. They've done it on a short field. This is a Northwestern team that is going to be a very tough out come the FHSAA 6A playoffs. And they are going to be one of the favorites, especially if Atwell is back and healthy going into the months of October and November. If that is able to be a full team for Miami Northwestern, they are right in position to where they can win a state championship and add to the already storied legacy of, as it says on the top of their rosters they provided us tonight, pride, tradition, excellence at Miami Northwestern. They'll come up short tonight, but they are in perfect position if everyone stays healthy and everyone continues to improve Northwestern is in a great position to contend for a 6A state championship. A lot of very good teams at the 6A level in the state of Florida. Northwestern's going to have an opportunity to play for a state title.
Well, and it's learning from the loss, because oftentimes you don't take away much when you win a game, right? You feel there really isn't maybe much to learn from. It's when you do take that loss that you can either let it get to you mentally and have it affect you or carry it with you the rest of the season, or you learn from it and you fix the issues that got you that loss, and that way you can have a more successful season down the schedule.
Often heard it put this way: don't let the same team beat you more than once.
Yeah, that's a good
Don't
one.
let this IMG loss, don't have the hangover from this game to where IMG, the hangover beats you a week or two down the line, as they will punt it away here with 1:06 to go, and the snap is over the head of the punter. He gets it back at the 1-yard line, and he's going to try to bring it out of the end zone as he is wrangled down at the 10-yard line, and he's still going to try to run it. Maybe he was saying his knee was never down, but you know, I give a lot of credit to Larry Robbins, the punter there, as that looked to be a for sure safety or possibly an IMG touchdown. He makes a man miss and runs it out across the 10, and now if you're IMG, the question is, okay, only the Bulls are out of timeouts. 2 knees could end the football game, but IMG, do you give someone the opportunity to score here late in the game?
Well, like you said, the punter had the great visibility to realize that he needed to do anything he could to salvage that play from further embarrassing, this Northwestern team after a shutout. But in all reality, we were just talking about the long snap, and sure enough, there you go. That's the reason why that position is so sought after, because that snap way over his head really, jeopardized that whole situation.
IMG has no interest in running up the score tonight, as they will take a knee. We'll probably need to snap it once or twice. It would help if the play clock ran. There we go. As we're down to 50 seconds, 15 on the play clock, as everyone congratulating each other on a game well played. We're still going to need to snap the ball at least one more time, as the play clock will set there. So one more snap for IMG will be all that's needed in this game. I think they're going to tell Enixtad to wait until there's 25 seconds, then take the knee. And indeed, there he goes, gets under center right at 25. One of the Northwestern players trying to throw the count off, hoping he can maybe force a weird snap, pick it up, and run 90 yards or so. But that's going to do it here from IMG Academy Field, as the hosts will retain their undefeated record and their spot at the top of the national polls and deal the Miami Northwestern Bulls their first loss of the 2017 season. Your final score here from IMG Academy, 21-0. The Ascenders knock off the Miami Northwestern Bulls. As a great game here tonight from IMG Academy. Jonathan, any final thoughts here tonight?
Well, again, we're seeing a lot of improvement. I'd say, if I were to pick out a player from tonight's game, Zach Enixtad put on a great game, especially after having such a rough game against Miami Central. He really turned it around. He showed that he was commanding the field, commanding his team, and really just brought this IMG team back to the team we're all used to seeing game after game.
And defensively for IMG, we called his name a number of times. Nolan Smith, the Georgia commit, had an excellent game tonight for the Ascenders, as they win tonight by a final score of 21-0. Thank you for tuning in to Ascender Football on IMG Academy TV. We will be back 13 days from now, October the 13th, for a game for the white team against the Flames of West Oaks Academy. That is a rescheduled game that was originally to happen during Hurricane Irma. It'll come on October the 13th here at IMG Academy Field. It's the Ascenders against West Oaks Academy. Coverage starts at 6:45. The ball kicked off at 7 o'clock. For Jonathan Torres, I'm Ryan Murphy. Thanks to our entire crew for making this broadcast possible. Have a great night, everybody.